And welcome. Hi, everyone. We're back. Well, actually, it's not actually we're back because this is our first time. But hello and welcome, my fellow scammers, to our inaugural season of this Guild of Scammers, period. I'm your slayful GM and leader Bay Izumi, and I couldn't be more thrilled to be your guide in this world of mischief and mystery. Now, with me, no, we're back. No, it is. Now, with me today, all right, we have our fickle freshmen, each with a unique spark in this grand tapestry of magic. Get ready to embark on a wild ride as we venture through Hecate's Enigma, the Freshman Chronicles. But before we delve into the shadows and secrets, let me introduce you to the stars of our show, the incredible cast of characters that will shape this world and the fate of it and all that shit. Right. First up, we got Nash, aka Xena.
Hey.
Period. And we have Complex Dolphin playing Sade.
Hey.
We have Electric Dragon, aka Sil, playing Otis Luck.
Hello.
Okay, and period. And then we have Apollo Hears playing Talia. Okay. Last but not least, we have Margot the Witch playing Bambi.
Welcome in, everybody. This is Margot the Witch, your high priestess and bitch. My pronouns are she, her, and hers.
Not this again.
All right. Now, girls, with our stage set and our actors in place, let's embark on this unforgettable adventure together. Get ready to outwit, outsmart, and outscheme, in some of you bitches' case, as we unveil the mysteries of Hecate's Enigma. But remember, in the Guild of Scammers, the line between friend and foe can be as thin as a whisper in the dark. Are you guys ready to jump in? Okay, let's begin. All right. We're going to move into our first fickle freshman. This campaign is set in a modern setting, though our world takes place in a dimension named Elysia Arcanum, a world where magic is an integral part of society, and the excuse me, that was the throat from earlier.
Stop.
An inaugural part of society, and the Hecate Institute of Magic is renowned for its prestigious and mysterious reputation. A long history dates this institution that many believe to be fairy tale, but very few know to be true. Our tale begins at the Torrid Estate. The home presented a captivating fusion of beauty and strength. From the outside, it resembles a formidable fortress, yet within its walls, it exudes an inviting coziness. The dark ceilings and brimstone walls lent an air of mystery and lore. Inside, one discovered an intricately adorned residence that defied the imposing exterior. Its dark wood floors formed a rich foundation, complemented by the deep hues of blood red and dark gray furniture, creating an ambiance of both elegance and power. Now, traveling up the grand staircase and down a couple of doors, we enter the room of our very first fickle freshman, Xena Torrid, played by Nashley J. Nash, can you please describe your character for us?
Standing at 6 feet tall, it's a surprise. The real reason Xena looks down on most members of the court and everyone else is simply because they hold no real power in their eyes. Usually a golden ember, their gaze burns a fiery orange when feelings become intense, but especially when using powers or spells. And that is intensely more unbelievable when you see the glow on her strong facial features with high cheekbones and a strong jaw structure. Xena is shocking to witness. Also athletic, after following behind her father's unusual training regimens.
Ooh.
Ooh.
She's a woman to behold. Or a man. Or them.
Or
Who
them, right? See? All right. Well, we love that description. We're gonna go ahead and move right up into it. You hear a subtle, and someone just opened your door, Xena. Someone just invited themselves in. But there you see a woman. She has pale blue skin, but striking ocean blue eyes. Her hair is pulled back and sort of just like keeping all of it from her face. And it's a sky blue color. She also has these kind of blue bedazzled looking markings on the left side of her face. And she is wearing something very regal. Many would see her and be like, wow, picturesque. She's beauty. But you just know this woman to be your stepma, Isabella. And she comes in and she's like, Xena, hello.
Hello.
She sees you getting yourself together, obviously, getting ready for the journey to the school. And she's like, she doesn't know if she can come in yet, because how would you in this moment describe your feelings? How does Xena feel when looking at this woman?
Exasperation. Just a huge eye roll, because what is she doing in here? Obviously, we have mixed feelings about her.
Yeah, no, good. So she stands hesitantly at the door and she kind of clears her throat and shuffles in place, and she's like, can I come in?
You're already in.
Oh. I'm sorry, you're right. I shouldn't have opened the door before. Are you ready for your journey to your new school?
I'm sorry, did my father ask you to come speak to me?
Your father? No, your father, he's, you know how he gets, and it's work, and he would have loved to come in here and say something to you before you partake in your journey, but he is unfortunately tied up in a lot of matters. And she says that, and she's shifting slightly and trying to avoid your gaze.
I'm obviously getting ready. I'm ready to go. I've been ready for 3 months. We've gone over all of this. What do you want?
I just wanted to make sure you were prepared and you had everything prepared for yourself, and I just wanted to come and check in with you, if that was okay.
How much longer is this check-in gonna take? I have some things to finish packing.
And now you see her kind of retreat toward the door. She's kind of like, it's a back up, not a full blown I gotta get out of here type of retreat. It's more just like a step back, and she's stepping back toward the door to kind of step back behind the threshold of it. And she's looking at you and she's like, okay, well, if that is what you wish, I will leave you alone. I just wanted to come in here and make sure you were prepared, and to tell you that your father sends his love. And when she says the last part, she has this look on her face as if she wants to say more, but she's stopping short.
Okay. Xena will stop being a bitch for one moment.
Is there anything you want to do with her right now?
I would like to inquire.
You want to inquire about what? Her look? The look on her face?
What she is holding back from telling Xena.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an insight check. DC, I will say, is 6.
Okay.
All right. You got an 8, so you ate it up. Okay, so with an 8, you see her standing, and she's like, she shifts a little more because she gets that you are looking at her expectantly, and I think she knows that you're kind of trying to pry beyond what she's telling you, and so she gives a deep breath, and she's like, you know your father, you know he loves you, right?
Yes.
And I know this has been an interesting thing that you two, because from what I know, he always speaks very highly of you, and you guys never really hit snags in the road, but I know he wasn't fond of you enrolling at this institute, and I just want to let you know that doesn't mean that he loves you any less. He would prefer if you went to another school, and maybe not one that. And so she cuts off from there, but you know from your insight check what she's inquiring. So from here, Xena had a prior conversation with her father, and he kind of told Xena, like, hey, I don't want you going to this school because actually Xena's mother was a teacher at this school, and for whatever reason, your father believes that this school had something to do with her death, though he's never really been able to prove anything against the school or anyone involved. And so when Xena told him, hey, I'm enrolling at this school, he wasn't very happy, and they got into a big fight over it. And that's what she's failing to get out, because she doesn't want to bring up this sore subject between you and her, and knowing that your, relationship isn't that good anyway. And so back in, she's like, he really does love you. And he's just having a hard time coping with your decision. But I told him, you're an adult, you're growing up, and your decisions are yours to make. But if you ever need me or anything, you know how to find me, you know where to find me. And then she just kind of stands at the door waiting for your word.
Wait, does it have to be word? Can it be action?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Okay, wonderful. So Xena is going to hug.
Oh,
her.
Okay. And once she hugs her, you feel a bit of a clench and a tension built in her before she kind of realizes what's going on, and she slowly wraps her arms back around Xena and hugs them close. And she whispers to you, just be careful.
And Xena's just gonna say thank you.
All right.
Oh.
And now with that, Xena will pack up and get ready to head down to the car for the car to take them to the institution. And now we're on to our next stop on this enchanting journey. And this leads us to the heart of Elysia, where the city thrives. Okay, girl, it thrives with a bustling crowd, each person embarking on their unique journeys, yet our purpose guided us to the very nexus of magical transportation. the transportation ley line. Here, the pinnacle of Elysia's mystical transportation system comes to life. It's pulsating with vibrant gold energy. The air is charged with magic as travelers gracefully traverse the golden ley lines, weaving through the cityscape like threads of pure enchantment. And we see our next fickle freshman, Otis Luck, played by Sylvester Reed. Sil, please describe your character for us, my good sir.
Okay. Otis is 5'6", male. He has green eyes and is an elf. He is quite thoughtful, always been thoughtful, and he himself is from royalty. Part of the Luck family has been less than a blessing, but he is attempting and trying his best to fit in while also meeting his own needs and standards and what he believes in. He has black hair, braided, and is light-skinned, and he's 21.
Oh, okay. It's a sleigh. So here, Otis is standing with a woman known to you as your caretaker, Idril. She's a small halfling woman who's on the older side with long gray hair, and she's very sweet. She's very motherly influence, and she has that role in his life because his parents are very busy. And basically, you're standing with the woman who raised you as she kind of sees you off on your next leg of your journey. So she stands there, and she's a smaller woman, being a halfling. She grabs onto Otis's wrist very gently, and she pulls him down to her height, and she's like, "Now, Otis, I'm gonna tell you this one time. I know you wanted to go to this school, and I know I wanted you to stay with me, but I'm glad that you're taking up something for yourself. I'm glad that you're doing this and you're going your own path, because I know how your parents, they wanted you to follow behind them and theirs, but I love that you are making adult decisions for yourself. And if you ever need old Idra, you know where I am. You know where I am, don't you?" And she's like grabbing you by the cheek now. And she's like doing that whole grandmotherly thing where she's like, ha ha ha. She's grabbing you and she's pinching your cheek. And she's looking at you with expectant eyes.
Oh, thank you. I know it's been quite difficult with the whole family arrangement, but I'm glad I have you with me.
Of course, and you're always gonna have me with you. You're always gonna have me. But I want to tell you something. And when she says this, she kind of backs back to give you room, and she's looking up at you with wide doe eyes, and she turns into her purse. It's a little satchel. She's rummaging through it, and she pulls out a small silver pendant, and she gives it to you. And she goes, and once she puts it in your hand, she places her hand over it, over yours as well. And she goes to you and says, This is my family crest. And I know we're not blood family. I know we could never be blood family, but by damn it, you are my son for all intents and purposes. And I want you to know that wherever you are, whenever you need me, I'm gonna be there for you. And she looks up at you, and you can see her eyes watering a bit, like she's on the verge. She's on the verge of crying, but she's trying to hold it together.
Oh.
So, and she's looking at you again, expectantly.
I don't need blood to tell me who my family is. You've always been enough for me.
You know, and with that, she just balls. She's like, from there, she's fully, people are looking at her. People are murdering. People are like, what is happening over there? And she's causing this big commotion as she's crying and holding on to your sleeve. And she's like, please, don't go. I'm begging you. But she's like, she's making this debacle. And somebody comes over. It's a man, he's just a standard guard of the ley line transportation station. He's walking up. He's like, and he's looking at Otis, and he's like, is everything okay here?
Everything's fine, sir. Everything's fine. It's we're just having a moment.
What kind of moment and then she interjects before he can even, he's going off to school, he's going to leave, he's going off. And he's just like, oh, so like it's dawning on him. It's a realization that, oh, I see what's happening here. Like he can kind of gather, because today is enrollment day for obviously one of the biggest institutes in the city. So he's kind of just like, oh, okay, I get what you're going on. And he's like, whoa, as you were. Yeah. And then he just kind of marches away. So now he's like, and she's after he's gone though, she clears her eyes and she's just like, you be careful at that school, honey. You be careful and make sure you do your very best. I know you're going to, but just make sure you do your very best. And you call me at any sign of trouble. Please call me, because you know I'm gonna show up, even if it's some. And she leans in a little. Some naughty trouble. Make sure you go and find yourself a partner. Damn, you've been single so long. I've been waiting for you to bring somebody home to us. So make sure you find yourself a partner while you're there, please. If you see anybody you're like, please. And she's like going off now, but like someone's watching and they're just like, it's like the little SpongeBob meme of this woman gathering her two kids and corralling them closer, like, let's walk away from this. And so what is Otis doing in this moment as she's saying this out loud to you?
Embarrassed. He is definitely kind of shocked that she would say something like that.
And you know what? And now she kind of sees how his face is becoming a little more flushed. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to put your business on Front Street. You deserve somebody, sweetie. You deserve somebody that's gonna love you, and somebody that you can bring home to me, and I can scope out the scene. You know I'm really good at it. And she like pushes up the bifocals on her face, because she's wearing glasses and they're very big and they're very round, and it seems like they were made for someone that is not a halfling. Like, they're made to fit someone with a very regular sized face, but she is wearing these very regular sized goggles on her very small face and small frame. So it kind of like the glasses are almost bigger than her face. They definitely overlap her eyes. And so there's like all this extra glasses on the side of her head. And she's just like, but and then you hear the sound of what you can only describe as magic, as you kind of hear like a shimmering, like this. You kind of hear that, and that's your cue, and it's telling you the ley lines have now cleared, and the next wave of passengers can now traverse the ley lines. And so she backs up and she's like, there's your ride. I love you. And just don't forget old Idra when you're out in that big old world and big old school doing big things. Okay? And then she's holding your hand, definitely way too hard and waiting for a confirmation from you. Like, she's just holding, waiting for you to say, okay.
Of course. I don't think I'll be able to forget all the things you do for me, even at that big school where I'm meeting new people.
She's just crying now because you've said that. And so now we're going to back up from this scene as Otis has to try and peel himself out from his caretaker, and so she can let you traverse and go to school and move on to our next person. Now, presently, we venture deep into very enchanting forest, adorned with these very mountainous trees that just reach way too high into the sky. And it's an enchanting heart. It's in the enchanting heart of Port Vale. And it's an ancient wood that surrounds a very bustling port section. And here is a mesmerizing tapestry of nature that unfolds before us, with an electric assembly of woodland creatures just scurrying through, woodland and mystical earth dwellers that coexist in literal perfect harmony. On the far side of this earthly land, we see our next fickle freshman, Bambi, who is played by Margot the Witch. Margot, can you please describe your character for us?
Hello. So Bambi has this like wild, straight, huge, like dark brown hair that matches like her dark brown eyes. She has this beautiful green dress that comes like below her shoulders. It's very flowy, has like a little leather brown corset to hold her little waist in, just something simple, something little she has this like little belt where she would have like compartments for like little pouches where she just puts all like her little knickknacks, seeds, foraging things of the sort. I will let you know that she is barefooted. Like at the bottom of her feet, it's just like covered in dirt.
Okay.
She's not the most well kept. She does have this recently new addition, Silver Septum. That's kind of like her focus of like her druidic nature.
Yes.
And she just looks. There's like this beautiful surgical steel necklace that she has as well that has like this little glowing green gem in the center of it.
Ooh. I like that. I like. Now, Bambi is just standing in the forest, but she is not standing alone. Down below Bambi, if you look way down, not like just a couple feet, a couple inches, no, way down, like ground height, you will see a small squirrel dressed in this pink pea coat who's holding a miniature bag and has a pink flower crown with a sort of like white cotton wool scarf around her neck, as if it's very cold outside and it's barely a breeze. Like it I would say at this point it's like in the low 70s, but that's not really that cold, especially for like an animal. But she's just bundled up. She's bundled up.
It's aesthetic.
Yeah, and she has her little hand paw on Bambi's on your ankle, and she's like she's tapping you and having a little like, once you look down, she'll motion you for you to come and look down at her.
Bambi gets like on all fours. She's on her knees. The elbows and her forearms are like on the ground, so she could be like face level to this little squirrel creature.
Yes.
And she just goes like, "Well, hello."
Right. Now she's like, "Don't give me that." Now you know exactly why I'm here. And she's tussling and straightening up her jacket because you can tell she's a bit sporadic in nature, but also she has something on her chest, basically. And you can see that from her beady little eyes. And she's like, now where did you run off to this morning?
You just been doing my morning runs out in the woods.
Young lady, you already know better than that. You know what time of season it is. It's hunting season. You can't just run around the forest. Never mind. And then she pulls out the letter. She goes into her little pack and she pulls out a letter and she's like opening it, but you can tell it's taking her a lot longer than need be to open it. And she's just like, never mind. And she gives it to you. And she's like, open it.
Okay, what's this? She takes it, opening it up, trying to figure out the inscriptions, the wordings in the piece of paper, not entirely sure what it's saying.
And it dawns on the squirrel. And she's like, oh, I forgot. Give it back. And then she jumps and snatches it. She jumps and snatches it. She's like, ugh. Sweetie, this is your acceptance letter. Remember that blue jay that came yesterday and dropped the spy? This is an acceptance letter into the institute that your mother told you about. Now I know it was a little hard getting by here, considering we're all the way out here, but I have signed and I've already become your point of emergency contact.
Emergency contact.
Well, let's be honest. When your mother made me your godmom, I didn't expect to have such a responsibility because, we all knew that, we all thought that your mother, she would be here to see you. She would be here for this. But, that's, we love her. But, your old mama Sage, she's always gonna be here in these woods, but because of my nature, I could probably sneak in with you if you. And she leans in a little bit, even though you're kind of still taller than her on all fours. She leans in and she's like, and if you need me, I can come to the school. I can go with you. We can try.
You want to go with me? Like, Baby just gets super excited, and if she had a tail, it would be wagging.
Well, it's not that I want to. I'm just saying, sweetheart, if you need that, I could find you. I did hear that the school has an enchanted forest nearby. I'm sure I could shack up there for a couple of nights or so, just until you're settled enough for me to leave you by yourself.
Auntie, do you think that'd be safe for you?
And when you say
it's hunting season, you said.
Now see. The schools is encased in basically a grand wall. So even your enchanted forest is school property. So she would comfortably be able to, sneak on and settle in the forest. Should Bambi want her to accompany. And so she basically tells you, no, there's a whole wide wall that basically entraps the entirety of the school. So if you want me there, I could definitely make some provisions for myself.
Yeah, I'd feel more comfortable knowing you'd be there, because I don't know how much I trust those people in there.
Well, hey. And when you say that, she kind of puts both her little paws on her hips, and she's like, "Now, what did we talk about? I know we don't think highly of landwalkers, but
sometimes inside thoughts remain inside.
And so now we have to, especially with where you're going, you got to keep that in mind, Sweet Pea, because there's a lot of them around." Okay, so
I could take them on.
okay. she puts up both hands like settle down, girl, in front of her. She's like, okay, all right. I see we're getting worked up. Remember what we do: breathe in and breathe out. Yeah, and just like that. And so when she says that, she's bringing both paws up and then both paws back down to kind of motion the breathing in, breathing out. And she shuffles her little ears a little bit. She's like, look, I will, if you want me to go, I'll definitely attend with you. But
just for a little while.
Exactly.
I don't want you too far away from home.
Exactly, because
I'm a big girl. I can do this.
Here. Exactly, you are. You are definitely a big girl, so you can take care of yourself. I believe in you. But just because you need me, I will be there for you. And I'll just find somewhere in those enchanted woods to shack up in. You think there's any like nuts around there?
If not, I could probably make some.
Oh,
I know that one trick Mama taught me.
And there's my girl.
And then Bambi puts out like one finger to the two little paws, and she looks at her auntie like in the little squirrel eyes and just says, "Thank you so much for this, auntie. I know it was very unexpected and sudden,
but
I really appreciate it."
Well, of course, it's if there's anybody that's gonna have to look after you, it's gonna be me because. And then she kind of sighs, not really wanting to bring up the recent death of your wolf mother, and she's just like, well, you don't gotta get into all of that, but we need to head over because it's gonna be a long journey to that transportation ley lines for us. We have to cross the ocean, and I think the last port leaves in about 20 minutes. Did you get everything that you needed?
Bambi looks around, just kind of realizing like she has little next to nothing to take with her, and she just responds with, "Yeah."
Okay, well, off we go. And she's scampering, like full force scampering to
every big step she takes, Bambi takes is just like 10, 20 little steps that Auntie has to take.
So she's scampering, and now you guys are going to the port so that you can ride the ocean to the mainland and get to the transportation ley lines in time so that you can arrive at Hecate's Institute. Now our story takes us to the Underdark of Elysia. It's a subterranean realm of darkness that holds a very uncanny mystery about it. We see a home carved into the rugged obsidian rock wall, but it's blended seamlessly into it. Like if you looked fast, you wouldn't miss it. That's how seamless it's in. With its surroundings, while it's providing essential comfort and security for its inhabitants inside. All right. So as you step inside the home, it's dimly lit, very dim. The corridors are it has maybe like 2 or 3 lanterns on. So it's creating a very dark ambiance. And the corridors open up into a labyrinth of network interconnected into chambers. The air is cool and slightly damp in the home, but it carries like the scent of minerals and like earth. The furniture and the decor in the home are crafted from minerals found in the depths of the Underdark. And it has like precious gemstones and dark, lustrous metals that make up, most of the furniture in the home. And it's thick and richly colored walls and rugs adorning the entirety of anywhere you see. It's very showy, very flashy. but it brings a warmth to the surroundings, because without it, it just seems kind of secluded, and it's very cold, you know. But the furniture is low to the ground, offering a sense of coziness and intimacy. And in the main foyer, we see our fourth Fickle freshman, Miss Sade Honey, played by Complex Dolph. Dolph, can you describe your character?
Yes, so Sade is a smooth 5'1". If you ask her, usually she clocks in about 5'11" at the doctor's office, but if you ask her, she'll say 5'1". She has a short, wavy, natural bob. It's light, it has some bounce to it when she moves. Kind of feels like the olive oil relaxer box picture back in the day, but it's natural for her.
Right.
Her features are very soft. Everything about her appears very soft and unassuming. Even her eyes are not big or bug-eyed, but they have kind of an innocence to them, and they're brown. But when you kind of squint, you could swear you've seen them flicker black. But they're brown. Even she has a light smell to her. It's a pleasant smell, but you can't quite put your finger on what it is. She is a brown-skinned gal, light-skinned girl though. She is wearing a jumper of the school she's about to attend. She has on leggings and just some regular gym shoes. She looks very basic. If you've seen her walking down the street, you probably wouldn't even notice her, to be honest.
Oh.
But she does have a softness to her that draws you in.
Okay, period. So, as we see Sade standing in the foyer, she has a couple of essentials with her, some packed suitcases in the works, and from a distance, but it's closing up on you, you can hear these footsteps. And it's getting closer, and it's getting closer. And into your view, you see a man with very strong, very sharp, very powerful features, and very long. His ears, although he's an elf, his ears look a little more pointed than most. They're very, very sharp, kind of just, his presence looks very demanding and ominous and with an air of danger, but from Sade's point of view, she doesn't really get any of that because this is just her dad, Karis. And he's just walking up to her and he looks at you very expectantly and he's like, "So, today's the day."
Yes. Yes, it is.
He lets out a sigh as he kind of steps back and looks you over. And then you see him cross his arms and you notice he's on edge because you can see his muscles tensing and flexing and relaxing and just repeating that. And he's like, "Listen, sweetheart, are you sure you're ready for this?"
Sade kind of throws her head back like she's confused and kind of almost insulted over the lack of belief. And she throws on her backpack and says, "If I wasn't ready, would I be here right now?"
He lets out another very audible sigh. And he's like, "Sweetheart, you know that's not what I meant. It's just..."
Well, what did you mean?
I just want to make sure that you are 100% sure about this. I know I came to you with the idea, and you, and then he kind of cuts off because he doesn't want to say his inner thoughts. You know what I mean? He's kind of keeping a couple cards close to his chest. And so he basically seems very on guard right now. And he's like, look, I just want to make sure you're ready for this. I want to make sure you understand what taking on this job means.
Sade kind of like not grabs his hand, but it almost feels like she's about to perform a scene in a movie. It's very deliberate in her movement, very punctual, and she says, "Father, I've been down here my entire life, training, dreaming, so bored out of my mind, waiting for the opportunity for you to believe in me."
Oh. When you say that, his eyebrows go up. His eyebrows go up because he feels the intensity and the truth behind your words, because he knows that he has been the one holding you back from really jumping into the family business. Because your family's known, but they're known in a sense that if you know them, you don't want to, or you shouldn't. So he kind of just is like, and not a lot of people even know about your birth. He took very, very good care to hide that when you were born, and so not a lot of people know that he has any child roaming this world. But once you kind of displayed the talent, and you found out what he does, and you wanted to join in on the family business, he began seeing possibilities that he as a father would not like to see. So he's just kind of like, you're right. And then he puts his hand on your shoulder, and he's like looking at you very intensely. His eyes are in a very light ember color, and they seem to just be like, they're looking at you, but they're also searching you for any hesitance in you. Like he's searching for any sign that you are liable to back out. And so he's like, listen, I trust you. I know what you are capable of. And he does this little scuff, and he puffs out his chest a little. He's like, you're my daughter. However, I also don't want anything bad to happen to you. Do you understand that?
Sade doesn't really so Sade feels a little bit awkward over this emotional interaction, but she's still going with it. So she proceeds to say, "Yes, Father, and I'm not going to let you down." And kind of takes her shoulder to like nudge his hand off of her.
And you know what? He gets the idea. He gets the picture, and he straightens back up and he resigns his hand. He's like, fair enough. You do have that waystone that I imparted with you, yes? And Yes, what he's meaning is like it's a stone for you to contact him while you're away, basically. And so he, once you say yes, he tells you, he's like, well, contact me at any sign of trouble. And not that he quickly refused. Not that I think that there will be any kind of trouble. I believe in you. However, if you do find yourself in any sort of situation, you know I have the means to get you out. And so he like backs up, you know, giving Sade a little bit of space because he's trying not, like, your father is normally a very stern man. Like, if you remember your training sessions with him, you will remember him being very fierce, very hard on you, but also it was more so I'm being hard on you so you can be the best you can be. And he was basically imparting you with knowledge to protect yourself in the world as you are about to go. So he's like standing back to give you the space. And for him, it's a symbolic nature of where he's standing back and letting you be your own person, because he has been a very like helicopter-esque parent. Like, he's always had a watchful eye over you. He, you know, with the past with your mother and everything, he got very protective of you. So he didn't let you do much. He didn't let many people see you outside of a very few close people that he trusts with his life. And so standing back and looking at you about to leave the door and go out into the world, he's kind of like, okay, it's more for him than it is for you. It's more for him. Yeah, it's more for him than it is for you right in this very moment. Because he's being forced to look at you in a different light. He's being forced to look at you as the adult that you've become. And so he's just like, he clears his throat. Well, I can't wait to hear the great news. And he just
Yes, Father.
steps back and allows you. And then he snaps a finger in the air. He's like snapping. And when he snaps, this drow elf, who is a bit on like the shorter side, you could probably tell somewhere in her family lineage she had a bit of some dwarves back in the day, or maybe a gnome somewhere, because she's just very, very short. But like not too short, but she's definitely shorter than you. She's probably like 4'2". And she comes up and he's like, Matilda. And she's like, yes, sir. And she's very skittish because she knows like what a presence your father has. And she's like, yes, sir. And then she's like, he looks at her and looks back at you. Sade is ready for departure. Have you made the prior arrangements that we spoke about? And she looks at you, now noticing that you are also there, because when he called her face, all the color gone, and she's already like, her skin is a deep dark purple, but it turned real pale when he called her name. But now she's noticing you there, and she perked up and she's like, oh, today's the day. Did the preparations you and she's going through the list of things he told her to do, which apparently is a very big list because she's just naming off things. And he's like, yeah, calm down, Matilda. Is she ready to go? Can she leave? And she's like, oh, yes, the carriage is outside. Are you ready to go, Sade? And she looks at you.
And Sade kind of looks at her father. doesn't fake a smile, but kind of smirks a little bit and like nods her head to be like, "All right, it's go time. I'm ready to go up in there."
Right.
And she's like, "Yes, of course," and proceeds to leave.
All right. And with you leaving out, your father does not walk away. He just kind of watches you walk out of the door and watches your retreating form as the door shuts on that scene. So now we bring our way to the actual heart of our campaign. We come to the college, and where it's kind of nestled, right? It's kind of nestled in its own little like enchanting type of situation. It's very much giving like secret island of some sort. But it's when you look at it, it's a sight to behold, girl. It's an architecture that kind of blends cozy and picturesque seamlessly. And it has these steep roofs that look like they could touch the sky. There's a manicured lawn that stretches out like an emerald carpet, inviting students and visitors to wander its pristine paths. And at the heart of this enchanting landscape is an ostentatious statue, very much so. And it's a statue that seems to depict a woman with a hood on, holding in her hand is a blue flame. And it's just like this grand sentinel that commands attention and reverence. Unlike our unimposing last fickle freshman, standing next to this big statue is Talia Devereaux, who is played by Apollo Ears. Now, Apollo,
yeah,
can you describe your character for us?
Talia is like this very captivating figure. He's like this towering 6'2", very slender, drapes over like some people in the university. He's like 20 years old. Alongside with that, his hair is like this little, or his skin color is like this red, like almost like a light blushy rose, and his skin is adored with like these scattering freckles, and his eyes are all around black. Ooh. But it stands out because his irises, I think that's what they're called, right? Yes. Irises, the little one part. His irises are like this very like light key lime color, you know? He's giving cut. His hair is almost the same shade of red that his skin is, but it's more auburn. It's like shaggy. It comes down to his shoulders. His shoulders are usually hunched forward. It sometimes covers his ears. Like whenever he's like walking around, his hair like bounces because his head is like always hung low. Another prominent description is his girthy gray horns. These gray horns, they almost like coil forward alongside his skull. The sharp tips almost like brush against his temples. And one of the things that he likes to do is that he likes to press his like fingers around like the texture and like ridges of them in like a sort of like soothing type of like way. Like whenever he's thinking or whenever he's overstimulated or just like anxious, which is like all the time, and he's very anxious right now, so that's what he's doing.
Okay. And thank you for that very meaningful description.
Thank you.
All right, and next to you, you will have a definitely not as tall, on a bit on the shorter side, fellow with light brown skin and pale blue eyes and blonde locks. And they're kind of put up in like a half up, half down situation. And he's just like standing next to you. He's holding his bag in front of him, even though it definitely has straps, so he could carry it. But he's so nervous that he's holding the bag in front of him, and he's just like standing at your side, very fidgety. And you know this person to be Drayton, your longtime best friend.
Mhm.
And he lets out a sigh and he's like, I can't believe we're finally here. And he looks at you and he's looking at you, but it's almost like it's giving you that look that you're the only thing he sees. Even though he's like surrounded by like students coming to and fro, like walking, because you gotta realize like this is enrollment day, so the campus is very busy. But like to that is basically, to him, is basically background noise, because he's like staring up at you and he's just like, I can't believe we're finally here and together. To be honest, I didn't really think I would get in, but there was no doubt about you because, well, you know you're smart, so, but me? I didn't really think I'd get in, but I'm glad I did. And I know it's a bit much, but I hope that we're in the same group, if at all possible. And he says this, but he says the last part, and it's fading. Like, he started off very strong, like a very strong tone, but the last part is kind of fading off because he would know, and you would know, that he has once proclaimed his feelings for you, and Talia did not reciprocate those feelings. So he's trying to walk a line of expressing to you his emotions without making you uncomfortable. And so he's looking at you expectantly.
Yeah, Talia doesn't care. He's like he's like looking around, he's like crossing his arms against his chest, he's like hunched over, he's like, it's kind of loud, right? It's kind of loud around here. There's a lot of people.
And when he does that, you can hear Drayton go, ugh, like it's an audible moan inside. He's like, he notices that for his entire spiel that it went over your head. And he kind of mumbles to himself. He's like, why did I have to fall for this one? And he goes and looks back at you, turns his attention back at you, and he's like, Talia, did you hear anything that I said?
What? I'm sorry. It's a lot is going on right now. What did you say?
I said that I'm glad we're here together. And he like raises his eyebrow at you.
Oh.
Like, yeah, like he's giving you like a brow, like, okay. And that's what Talia replies with. It's, oh.
I'm glad I got in too.
Oh.
Thank you.
I wasn't. And then he kind of sees that that's a lost cause. And then, so once you do that, he kind of like reclines on himself and goes into a more like, I would say a stoic type of expression. And he's just like, okay, well, I hope that you don't. And then he trails off, thinking about whether he should say this or not, especially regarding how his previous words have just been discarded. But he turns to you and he nudges you this time to make sure like you are looking at him. Don't go and get yourself a new best friend. Got it?
Please, I like hate people. People like don't talk to me.
And then he just like rolls his eyes because for Drayton, it's kind of like, you can't just give me this one. Like he's having that moment in his head where he's like, you can't give me this one. And then so he's like, Tal, no one hates you, and you just don't really like talking to a lot of people. I mean, when we first met, it was literally all me talking to you. And now, I'm glad that we were able to get past that and have an 80-20 conversation most of the time. But it's like, no one hates you for that. And then he is about to say something, but he trails off because he doesn't want to, in a sense, trigger you. Because if you... Now, he'll just leave it there. Now, if you want to try and scope the scene and see what he was about to say, you definitely can, We're going to have you roll an insight if need be. If not, you can just let that go.
I'll let it go.
Okay. And so,
Talia's just like, maybe you're just a nice person to listen to.
now, when you say this, Drayton kind of... you can see his face and demeanor literally brighten up at that, because it's not often that he gets to hear like any sort of praise, and definitely praise from Talia, because Talia gives like very, I would say, haphazardly praise, to where it's basically just, it's a statement that Talia knows to be true, but for Drayton it's a lot more. It's more like, he notices me. Like, Debbie right here. And so he's just like, I'm not that nice. And he's like scratching the back of his neck nervously. But you could also, if you were to look, you could also see his cheeks are like very flushed, and they're gaining a bit of red on them. And you're like, he's blushing because he heard a compliment from you. And he's just like, anyway, what do you think your favorite class is gonna be?
Honestly, I don't know. Probably anything to do with like science, maybe.
Oh, honestly, I don't know if I'll get put into any science classes, because I came here for the more druidic program, but I hope that we get at least one class together. Like I said, you know how they group the freshmen here. Oh, actually, and then he pulls out a letter from his bag that he's holding, still clutching in front of him. But now he pulls out a letter and he's looking at his acceptance letter, and down at the bottom it says something. And he basically, his eyebrows go up, and now he looks at you. He's like, "Quick, give me your acceptance letter."
Okay. Talia like reaches into his backpack and then pulls out this big, thick ass binder full of like a whole bunch of paperwork.
Okay.
That's like color assorted.
Oh.
And he hands it off to him.
And so when you hand off the binder, do you hand off the binder, or just do you go in and get the paper and give it to him?
No, I like give him the binder, and it's like very roughly on accident. So I like push it against his chest.
Yeah. And so when he gets it, he's like, "Oh, careful. Sometimes you don't know your own strength, giant." So he's flipping through. He's like, and he's looking back at you. He's like, "What color code is it in?"
Blue, always.
Of course. So he goes to the blue section of this gigantic folder of just assorted papers and documents. He's like, "Oh, not that, not that, not that." Oh, and then he sees your paper. He sees your acceptance letter, and he's looking down, and he's like, and you can see his shoulders kind of deflate, and he's like a little crestfallen. He's like, "Damn it, we aren't in the same group." And he kind of pushes the folder back to your chest and doesn't notice how hard he does it.
Oh.
Because he's just like, ugh, like he's trying to get, he's so mad that you guys aren't in the same group. So he kind of, with his palm, pushes the binder against your chest a little too hard.
Oh my god.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm in a different group than you. Your group is the Blue Snakes, whatever that is. And I think I'm in... He pulls back out his own, binder. And he's like, huh. And so when he says that, you can kind of see that he's donned a look of confusion. And now he's like, no, because I could have sworn this just said something else. And
What?
he looks at you and he hands you his paper. And at the bottom, if you were to read it, you could see that his group is the Blue Snakes. And he's like, I swear to you, just a second ago, that said something else.
Maybe you're just thinking too hard about it. It could be the stress.
Whatever. As long as we're in the same group, nothing really matters, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna transfer anyways, but...
What do you mean? What do you mean? And when you say that, he goes into full panic, like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Like, if we weren't in the same group, I can't imagine not doing all this without you.
And so when
I don't know anyone here.
When you say that, you can kind of see his eyes go wide again. His cheeks are very much so, his face was like almost a different tone entirely as the red overtook it from how you just so casually was like, I can't imagine doing any of this without you. Because now in his head, he's been sent on cloud 9. And he's like,
oh, Lord.
Like it's choir, it's angel choir singing right now. He's like, oh, wow, he can't do any of this without me. And he says that out loud where you can hear him.
Yeah, that's what I said.
And
are you feeling okay?
And he shakes his head a little and he's like slaps both of his cheeks. He's like, yeah, I'm fine. And then when he says you hear the sound of a ring, more so like a chime in a sense, kind of like a dong, dong, like a very big chime that's ringing out over the school. And he turns to you and he's like, all right, we should probably go because that's the chimes for the freshman lecture hall. We should probably get over there because we have the whole situation to do. Is it
do you know where we're supposed to be going?
And he's like fanning his shirt because he's still thinking about everything you said to him, and he's kind of like discombobulated. And he's like, "Is it hot out here? I'm burning up!" And he's like opening and closing his shirt, like fanning.
Talia is totally disregarding his question. He's very worried on getting to the right place at the right time. He's looking around the campus. He's very stressed out.
And if you were to look around the campus, you would see all the students kind of going, who you could probably tell are freshman students, all going to the same place, which you can pretty much infer that is the destination that you guys are supposed to be heading into. And so from there, what do you do?
Talia grabs Drayden's hand and he's like, "We should get going right now."
And I want you to know as you do this, he is tripping over his steps because his mind is on he doesn't know how to react to what's happening because you're holding his hand on top of everything. And he's like, pinch me to himself. Like, he's like, is this real life? Like, but this is what you guys heard. You guys heard like a little bell, and it's still kind of going off in the distance as you make your way and walk into a building that you can assume is like a theater with maybe like a lecture hall, because it's filled with seats that are like in an arc around a main stage, a main center point, a main focal. And you hear all the people in the background, all the freshmen kind of shuffle in and make their way in and make their you can see everyone is talking, making friends, or like already with a group of people. And Drayton kind of points over into a specific spot, and he's like, there's an open spot over there. And so like from there, you guys kind of go into that open spot before anybody can really take it. And for the rest of our fickle freshmen, they have all probably entered this room and are somewhere inside of it right now. And everyone is talking, and there's a bunch of chatter, and then it all just kind of goes silent. And you're like, as this woman walked onto the stage, before you all stands a mesmerizing elven woman with deep, velvety brown skin. Her features are possessing like a unique blend of kindness, but it has a sharpness to it that really just captures everybody's attention. And her icy gray eyes are like sweeping across the assembly of students, leaving an impression on all of you. And like her long flowing hair is really white, just like freshly fallen snow white. And it cascades gracefully down to her waist, and she has braids that are intricately and basically placed very elegantly and adorned with like silver kind of jewelry woven into the braids. And they're solely on the left side of her head though, because on the right side of her head, her hair just kind of freely falls down. And without uttering a single word, her mere presence like commands the attention of everybody in the room, and the room just kind of goes silent. And she's draped in a meticulously crafted white and silver gown with long sleeves hugging her form. You know, it's giving body yaddy yaddy, you know what I mean? And she has like exposing sections of skin, but they're like concealed beneath like a mesh. And she has a stunning white cape adorned with intricate silver patterns onto it that graces her shoulders. And it's suspended with like a silver shimmering pendant. And with a series of graceful hand movements, you kind of hear this sound. You hear like the sound of magic, and you can tell she's doing a spell. And as she speaks, her voice resonates through the room, and it feels as though she's speaking directly to each and every freshman gathered before her.
Wow.
And she's like, greetings, new students. I am Head Mistress Casterwill, and it is with great pleasure that I extend a warm welcome to all of you at this illustrious institute. In days of yore, the path of mastering magic involved apprenticeships under the tutelage of seasoned practitioners. However, as we ventured into a more modern age, and public educations and universities have predominantly replaced all these ancient traditions, schools and institutions worldwide have arisen to serve as sanctuaries for magic users and enchanted beings of every ilk, providing a secure and safe haven to refine your magical and mystical talents. Among these esteemed establishments stands our great one, Hecate Institute of Magic. Within these walls, an array of courses awaits each and every one of you, equipping you to forge your own unique path into this world, empowered by your inherent gifts. Guided by the world's most esteemed professors, and she looks to the side, where you can see a line of adults, basically, who you all can assume are the professors she's mentioning. You shall embark on wondrous journeys, manifesting magical wonders and unlocking latent potential you never could fathom. Our curriculum delves deep into the fundamental principles of magic, as well as the responsible application of these gifts in the outside world beyond. Now, to cultivate your magical prowess, we will engage in a series of rigorous training exercises, stimulated scrimmages, and closely overseen battles, but they will be overseen by our dedicated staff. While this may sound enchanting and enjoyable, comprehending the psychological hold that magic has to you is of equal importance. A comprehensive study of its profound principles is mandatory. Thus, this institute offers specialized magic classes, complete with one-on-one instructions and guidance from our foremost professors, contingent upon meeting specific requirements. And when she says that, she kind of looks around because she knows that, like, some of the professors here are a lot more sought after than others. And it's basically a way to let the students know you can get that one-on-one time with the professor, but you have to meet a certain requirement to do so. She backs up and she's like, anyway, we understand that each of you may be experiencing a myriad of emotions, some positives and others less so. Rest assured, many before you have walked this very path you are about to indulge upon, so you are never alone in your journey. Take a moment to look around you. And when she says this, the room goes a little, you can hear people like looking around and saying like, hey girl, like you can hear people talking to each other once she says look around you. And then she clears her throat and it goes back silent. She's like, yes. Now, you've been designated a color and a group animal name. These destinations are not mere labels, but the foundations of your initial adventure here at this institute. Those sharing your color and group name will comprise your adventuring party for your first year. This arrangement aims to facilitate smoother integration into the school community and jumpstart a lifelong connection and companionships. In closing, I implore you to seek out and connect with your group mates. Should you require any assistance, do not hesitate to approach the faculty member in your vicinity after doing so. I want you all to head to the administration to finish your registrations. Without much delay, thank you for enrolling at Hecate Institute of Magic, where your magical odyssey begins in earnest. And then she kind of steps back and the crowd says, woo! Like it's a crowd cheer. Like everybody's like, yeah, you ate that up, sis! Like,
Bambi makes herself look a little smaller. So she's like being overstimulated a little by like all the noise and the people just like, ah.
All right, and after the crowd dies down, you see that she is stepping back and she has walked off of the stage from where she came. She's disappeared and she's gone. Now, for you guys, you have a decision on your hands. So each of you, if you were to look at your letters, for Bambi, Sage has told you. Sage has told you.
I was about to say, I'm gonna look for the person closest to me to be like, please, what does it say?
Yeah, Sage has told you yours, but each and every one of you have the color blue and the animal snake. So whether you want to try to go and find each other, or try and maybe talk to someone near you, or just head to the administration, is completely up to you.
I think Bambi would want to go outside and get some fresh air.
Okay, so Bambi steps outside. Is anyone stepping outside with her?
Would I need to step outside to go to the administration?
Yes, it is
Okay.
the
Okay.
building north of the lecture hall.
Yes, then I too would step
Then I
outside.
too.
Yo, Tom being
Okay, so all of the
Oh my
entire
God.
mystery party steps outside, and as you step outside, I'm gonna say Bambi is first. As you step outside, you hear this little jingle next to your ear, and then you hear that. You hear magic, and you can. In front of you stands a boy at he's like 5'6", give or take, because he just appeared to you out of nowhere. But
Me?
yes, he's standing in front of you, and you can see he's dressed in like a white kind of see-through shirt, but it's long sleeve, so you can see through his sleeves, like you can see his skin underneath. But over top of the shirt, he has a green vest that is like detailed in yellow. It has yellow detailing on the vest, and it's like buttoned up all the way, but you can see a little bit of his chest underneath, and he's has this kind of, he has green pants, but over the green pants is like a teal type of scarf, and his hair is long and brown. It goes probably to the middle of his back, and you can see ears poking out from his like messy ponytail, because he has like his hair in a ponytail, but he has some of the hair in the front out, kind of making a bang situation. Like it's like, you know, a middle parted type of bang situation, and you can see his ears poking out from his hair, and he's like, "Ooh, you look, and then he puts his finger to his mouth, and he's like looking at you.
Bambi just kind of like threateningly says, "Choose your next words carefully."
And he looks at you with like a smile on his face. It looks very mischievous type of smile. He's like, I like you. Hi, pleased to meet you. And he puts his hand out to Bambi. And he's like, and what do you do with his hand? Like, are you gonna do anything with it?
He kind of like puts her nose close to it and like sniffs it, trying to get a gauge of like his personality through like his scent.
Go ahead and give me an insight check. Go ahead and give me an insight check. DC, the DC for this, I will say is, he's not that, I will say it's a 9. DC 9. Yeah. So
I couldn't see. Okay, there it is.
Yeah. So with a 12 on the die, you can tell that he is very bubbly. He has a very sunny personality. He seems to be a very light presence, but also on your insight check, you can delve a little deeper and you can see that he has a bit of a mischievous playfulness to him. Like it's very not in any sense of like harm. He just maybe likes to pull pranks or do jokes in a sense, but not in a harmful way. It's just something you can tell he would do.
Bambi kind of like grins at the mischievous part of the scent that she's catching, and then she licks his finger because she doesn't know, she's never shooken like a hand of somebody else, so she's just like, lick.
Yeah. So when you do that, he very fastly reclines his hand, and he's like, "Oh, no, we don't."
Sorry, I'm new to this stuff.
And he leans in and he's gauging you. He's looking at you from every possible angle. He's like, "What? What are you?"
I'm Bambi.
Yes. Is that your name?
I think so.
You think so?
It's what they called me.
Okay, well, I'm Oliver Knox. It's a pleasure to meet you, but I'm sure the pleasure's all yours. I am a fairy. And he's like waving at you, and as he waves, you can see little like golden flecks kind of cascade off of his hand as he waves at you, and it just dissipates into the air.
What? Where? Did he just disappear? Is he gone?
No, it was like golden flecks off of his hand when he waved at you. Like, he's still here, girl. He's still in the room. It's all
He was like looking up at the sky, like, what's going on?
He's like, have you? And he sees you doing this. He's like, have you never seen magic before?
Not like this.
Oh. We are going to have so much fun together. And then he kind of grabs you and he's like, tell me, what group are you in?
I think it was a blue snake.
And his face kind of falls and he lets you go. He's like, who? I'm in
What
the
did you
green
get?
hamster. So, unfortunately for you, we won't be in the same group. But if you ever see me around, don't hesitate to say hi.
Okay, Oliver. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And since you seems like you needed a little help, I'll offer some for free. If you look over there, and he turns to behind him, and he's pointing at this brick ceilinged roof, and he's like, that one over there with the red brick, you know, the one. That's where administration is. You should be able to find the rest of your group mates there, or if you want, you're free to look around yourself, but given your, and he stands back, quaint responses, I think it'd be better if you get some help.
Oh, I thought you were gonna help me, but
Well,
okay.
yeah, no, I was just looking for members of my own group, but since you aren't in mine, I can't really do nothing for you now, can I? But it was nice meeting you. What did you say your name was?
Bambi.
Bambi. And then he does this little flourish of his hand, and you can see that he's basically using a minor illusion. And I know you can't read it, but you'll see, and it spells out Bambi in the air. And he's like, now I won't forget it. Anyway, ta-ta. And then he shrinks in front of you. Like you would see him, basically you see his feet in the top half of him kind of like shrink in on itself. And he sprouts out little wings and he flies away.
And then Bambi just kind of like waving her hand awkwardly is like, bye, Oscar.
And then he turns back and gives you a little hand flourish, like, bye, girl. And so now with that, you feel a bump to the back of you.
Oh.
Like someone just bumped into you. And you hear, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I wasn't looking where I was going. And you turn around, and you see a little light-skinned elven boy with blonde locks, hair half up, half down. And he's
Not
like,
everybody got the half up, half down look.
right.
Y'all go to the hair same salon.
It's the same salon. Everybody goes to the same salon. And
It's local, girl. It's
right,
local.
it's local.
Right. It's trending.
Right. So you see Drayton standing behind you, and he is very apologetic. He's looking to Talia for a lifeline, in a sense, to be like, can you step in? Like, say something.
Bambi's just kind of sniffing out Drayden, like walking around him and like just trying to catch a whiff of what's going on with him. Just like, that sound where dogs are just like sniffing on your ear. That like,
Yeah.
it's very much that energy. Just like,
Oh, and when you do that, Drayton said, she's sniffing. And she kind of backs
Yeah.
up a little bit.
Talia like pushes and picks up Drayton by his shirt, the back of his shirt, and like shoves him like behind him a bit, and like puts an arm between Drayton and Bambi, and he's like, hello?
Bambi just kind of starts doing the same sniffing thing to Talia.
Oh, okay.
She's like, hello. Like, kind of ignoring, but just trying to catch a whiff.
Oh my god.
Talia puts his hands up in like a surrendering motion, and he's like, oh my god, what the fuck is going on?
And behind you, you can see Drayton kind of looking out from Talia's big frame, but he's like looking over, and he has his eyes narrowed, and his eyebrows are kind of like scrunched together, trying to basically see what this girl is sniffing for. And he goes, are you okay?
I'm just getting to know you. Is that not how y'all do it out here?
Mm-mm.
And Talia fiercely agrees. I mean, no, Drayton fiercely agrees with Talia, being like, no, yeah, that's not how we do it out here. It's mainly done with conversation. And then he clears his throat, and he's like, straightens up a little bit. He's like this. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Drayton. This one is Talia. Do you by chance know what group you're in?
Blue Snake.
Oh.
No way,
Is that what
that's
you got?
ours. And he points at himself and like at Talia. He does a little shuffle back and forth to him and then Talia. He's like, that's our group as well.
Okay. Hi, I'm Bambi.
Bambi.
You can tell she's kind of like fiddling with her hands, trying to like understanding that she's making people uncomfortable and she's making herself uncomfortable. Not sure how to be cool with like the people.
And at this point, I think Drayton probably notices that, because I would say he's a bit more on the outgoing side, definitely of him and Talia's little duo. So he kind of realizes that you're in an uncomfortable setting, and he steps from behind Talia and goes, hey, it's okay. A lot of us are nervous on our first days, so it's nothing to stress about. If you want to, you can head to the administration with us and maybe find the rest of our group.
Oh.
Not now. You can see Talia. You can see Talia and Drayton like having a sidebar, Bambi, at this moment because he heard Talia. Oh. He's like, not now. Before he turns back to you with like a big smile.
That's okay with y'all. I'm new to people.
Yeah, shoes. I mean, sure.
Oh, okay. And when you say that, you can hear Drake go, oh, okay. And so he's like, yeah, come with us. It's totally fine. It doesn't matter. We're part of we're an adventuring party now, so it's okay.
Bambi's face kind of changes to like a little squint towards the tall one.
And
She's looking at me.
and Talia, while you say that, Drayton looks at you and goes, just smile.
And then he gives her an awkward smile.
Okay. So once you hear that,
It's an awkward smile, just mostly just showing off like her fangs. Just like
ooh,
you know how dogs smile?
yeah.
Oh my
It's
god.
very much that, just awkward, like showing the teeth, like.
Okay, so once you do that, we kind of cut away from this scene in particular as you guys walk to the administration office, and we go to our fickle freshmen who have yet to intervene because they're probably somewhere where this awkward situation is not happening. But you can see, because I would say you guys are more so on like in the middle, right in the walkway, because I feel like Bambi just would not have any courtesy to step to the side of a building. So
Absolutely
this
not.
entire interaction happened right in front of the building. So the other freshmen were probably on the sides. So we go to more so the left side of the building where we see Sade. And Sade, what are you doing?
Since Sade is so short, she's a little bit being swallowed by the crowd, because everyone's kind of like really oversized compared to her. But she's still trying to move within the hustle and bustle of everyone. She is appearing very nervous but vigilant, like her eyes are darting to the people around her. Can I actually do?
Yes.
Hold on, let me check my stats first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Can I actually do an insight check to see who's all around me?
Well, go if you. I would say give me an investigation, so you can scope out the area.
Okay, I would like to scope out the area to see what Homegirl sees.
Okay, go ahead and
Let me
give
look
me.
at
Yeah.
Bloop, bloop.
Oh!
Well, it rolled
Oh
two,
my god.
but the second one is like trash. I don't know why I rolled 2 for you.
I don't know why I did anything.
But
Do you
we'll
have
go with
advantage clicked?
Huh?
Do you have advantage clicked?
No.
Yeah, she just rolled 2 rolls. It doesn't have.
Yeah,
advantage.
it just did too.
Yeah.
Shall I roll one more time?
No, you're good. You're good. The DC wasn't gonna be high enough. Like it's a crowd full of people out, so it's not like it's hard to see anybody. So we're gonna go with your 10, and on a 10, you can see a little ways from you. To your left, you see a girl who's probably around the same height as you, but maybe an inch or 2 shorter. She has like black hair. It's in a ponytail, like in a high ponytail, but you can also see that she has like a braid coming from the side of her head. So she's rocking 2 styles right now. She's really feeling her oats. And she's green, and she has all of these like black sort of markings on her that are very intricate and look more like an Aztec type of marking. So she's a little ways away from you, but you also see in front of you, probably like a couple steps, you would see Miss Xena.
How does Xena look?
So
Does Xena look upset?
Let's ask the audience. Xena, do you look upset?
No, I do not look upset. I look like I'm on a mission because I'm trying to get to the admin building. I don't have time for all the stuff going on around me.
So she's just walking. she's walking to the admin building right now.
Word. So Sade is going to quote unquote accidentally bump into Xena.
Okay, go ahead.
Like not like a shoulder. It's gonna be like a very gentle bump.
Okay.
Do I need to roll for that or?
No. If you're just gonna bump into her, you can do that. And now the ball would be in Xena's court to respond in kind.
Okay.
Can you watch where you're going?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I was just trying to find the admin building and I don't know where I'm going. I'm sorry. What group are you in?
I'm a blue snake.
You're a blue snake?
Yeah.
Oh my god, me too. Did you want to walk together? I mean, we're walking together. That's so awkward. But Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not used to this.
Is this your first time interacting with another human?
Oh. Um, is it that bad? Can you tell?
No. Maybe. Yeah. Yes. It is that bad. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was like homeschooled, so like I didn't really talk to many people besides my dad and like our housekeeper. I'm sorry. I'm trying to fit in. I have the jacket. It says our university.
And as you guys are talking, you hear like trotting of hooves.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
You hear trotting of hooves running towards you, and you you hear this boy, "Move, get out the way!" And he's like sprinting through you.
Wait, sprinting through us?
Yes, because you guys, in the sense you guys are like together, but like not touching, but like he's like bombarding. He's about to bombard his way through both of you, like cut in between your bodies.
Okay, so he hasn't reached us yet.
No,
that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, all right. I feel like in this situation, Xena would act on instinct and move with Sade, like pull her out of the way.
Okay, so once you once you pull her out of the way, and he passes by you harmlessly, he's like, he looks back, he says, "Thank you!" And he just keeps going.
Are you serious? He almost just ran us over and he has the nerve.
I know. Thank you so much for saving me. What was your name again?
Oh, please. I didn't save you. That was nothing. My name is Xena.
Oh, nice to meet you, Xena. I'm Sade.
You hear the steps again. And
oh
my god!
What are you doing?
He's turning around, and he stops full force in front of both of you this time. He doesn't run through. He's like, "Oh, I dropped this," and you can tell, like he bends down, and he picks up his little it looks like a bracelet of some sort, but a little. If you look at him and look at the bracelet, you could tell, like, bitch, that bracelet's too big for you. And so he's holding this. He's like, "Sorry, I dropped this." And then he's looking at both of you to see what both of you are gonna say.
Let me see it.
So you say, "Let me see it" to him?
Yes, because and I'm curious.
Once you say that, he kind of trots back a little bit, and he's like, "What do you mean, let you see it? It's mine."
It's yours.
Sade kind of looks at her wrist. She's like touching her wrist, and she's like, "Are you sure it's yours? Because I think I came with something, and then when I fell, I'm not quite sure."
And so when you say this, his eyes shift a little bit, like a little to the left, to the right, to the left, and to the right again, but they stay to the right, and then look at you. And he's like, "I can assure you that this is mine. I don't know what you came with, and quite frankly, I don't care. But this one belongs to me." And he does this little, and you can tell, because if you were to look at him as you both are, you see this satyr. He is, the top half of him is a boy, but the bottom half of him is like goat legs, and he has these horns that are blue, and he has these little like goat ears that are protruding from his very curly brown hair, and he's of like a brown skin of himself. It doesn't really look like, you wouldn't think ethnically he's like black or anything. You just think this girl, she's got a tan, you know what I mean? Like, and it's a very smooth, even type of tan. And he's wearing like a little red necklace that really probably stands out against his like brown, like dark brown type of undertone, like grayish undertone fur. As he's holding and clenching this bracelet to himself.
Can I roll for deception to try and convince him
That this is yours?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for deception DC 12.
Oh shit.
Damn. I'm broke.
And- Did you just roll once? I don't know.
Go ahead and roll.
Why is it?
Okay. Well, you rolled the thing. So as you say, hey, this is mine, and you're trying to deceive him, right? He kind of pokes up his little face at you and says, I know this isn't yours, because... And then he holds it up a little bit, and holds it up like, as if he's looking at it and looking at you at the same time, trying to measure you out. And he's like, you'd never wear something like this. And then he puts it back. He puts it back behind.
Did he just call me broke?
Literally.
You can insight check and see what he means about it. You can insight check him and see what he means by it.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. So once he says that, he's like, huh, you two must be freshmen.
Ah, Jesus Christ.
Is that what you
Sorry.
say out loud?
No. That was out of character.
Roll for initiative.
Okay. No.
Yeah, no. Go ahead.
This whole time, Xena has just been getting kind of feeling disrespected by this person because, like, why are they being so weird? Like, I asked to see it on top of everything. And I feel like at this point, they'd be riled up and attempt to intimidate this person.
Okay, and what do you say in your intimidation?
Ooh, let's see. Hold on. Let me think about it.
Yeah, because if you're going to intimidate him, you got to say something intimidating.
Hey, you.
Yeah, bucko. Let me tell you something, pal.
That none of those work for me. How about okay?
Let me touch your hand when I say that.
No. I can tell that bracelet doesn't fit your wrist. It's actually twice the size of your arm. So I suggest you let me see it, or I'm gonna take matters into my own hands.
Oh my god.
Word.
Now, for you, I'm going to go ahead and give an intimidation roll, the DC class, because this is pretty... You're trying to take something from him, so I'll say it's a 15.
Oh my god. Please tell me you have, like, an addition to your...
Whoa, okay! So, when you say this, you can see his little hooves are starting to shake. His tail is wagging, but definitely not out of happiness because he's really scared. And he's like, okay, here, you can have it. And he throws it at you, and he scampers off. And before he goes, he says, I stole it anyway from that guy. And he points in to Otis's direction, who has probably just been standing aside, not really focusing on what's going on in this particular scenario. But he points at Otis and then continues to trot away.
Now that's how you clear a bitch.
Right, literally. Okay, wait, is it my turn or still turn?
No, it's whoever wants to partake.
Oh. I'm gonna talk to Sade.
Okay.
Or is he gonna talk
Yeah,
to
go
Sade?
ahead.
Should we find the owner?
Yeah. I thought it was mine. I'm so crazy. It's rough.
I would definitely say you don't have to find the owner because he just pointed at him. Like he just pointed dead at Otis and was like, "I stole it from that guy." Because with your 24, you like if you beat it by a little, I was just gonna be like, okay, he gives it to you and he runs away. But since you beat it with like a 24, he basically confessed his crime. It's like, yeah, I stole it, and that's the dude I stole it from. I mean,
Okay.
it's your problem now.
All right, so I will walk up to Otis and say, I think this belongs to you.
Now,
I mean, not Otis. Wait,
yeah,
is that right?
yeah, Otis. Now, when you say this, Otis, you recognize Xena as another noble family. Otis doesn't really get into the politics of nobility because family matters, but him and Xena did have, let's call it a very small play date of sorts when they were younger. Their families work very closely together. Neither of them are like in the family business as much, but like when they were younger, they probably would have seen each other once or twice. So Otis, you are free to do with that what you will, as Xena comes up to you with assumingly your bracelet that this satyr has stolen from you.
Oh my god, where did you find this? I've been looking everywhere.
I actually had to pummel it off a satyr. Maybe not pummel, but like, yeah.
Pummel. Oh, the nice goat man.
Nice.
Yeah, he offered to help me find some people who are also in, what was it, Blue Snake?
Oh my god.
You sold it to him?
Surrounded by. I'm confused.
No, I didn't sell it. It was just kind of there, and then it wasn't. Oh my god, he robbed me.
You're just now realizing?
I mean, I kind of expected him to help me out. I didn't see he was kind of taking anything from me.
But
Sade is kind of in shock, but trying to remedy the situation. She's like, "But you said you were in not Blue Snake? Is that what's called?"
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
you said you were in Blue Snake. Yeah, we are too. We can all walk to the admin building.
Oh, perfect.
But and then Sade kind of whispers to Xena, I mean, if you want to steal anything else from him, because he seemed a little lost.
I am not a thief.
Oh. Me neither.
Me neither. Okay, so from there, do you guys all go to the admin building?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Period. So once you all go inside the admin building and converge, it's not crowded, but it's also like not empty. There's like a small crowd gathered around the receptionist desk. And you can see that she's handling up the last of, the people in front of you. And I would say in front of you, your group, Talia, Xena, and Otis, in front of your group specifically, I would say that in front of you is Bambi and Bambi, Talia, and Drayton. And she's finishing off some like random students as she looks over at you as they walk past. And in front of her, she sees Talia and Bambi and Drayton. And she's like, come on. And you can see, if you look at her, she's an orc woman, but she has a full-blown beard. Like, it's gray.
Oh my god.
It's gray.
Queen.
She's tired. She has like, she has a little hat on. She has these books open with like blue sigils, markings, like emanating from the books as she's like magically flipping the pages, but like not looking at any student directly. She's kind of just like looking at the books, looking at the student, but like looking through them on a sense. And she is just waiting for the next girls to come. She has these circle framed glasses that seem to have like a purple tint to the glass frame, like the glasses frame. It has a purple tint to it, and she has these tusks obviously coming from the sides of her mouth. Her ears are very pointed, and she's a bigger, heftier woman, and she's completely green, and she's like looking through her books and looking at students and making sure like registration is in order. And so as she says next, what do you guys do? Talia and Bambi and Drayton, the floor is yours.
Talia he stutters forward.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, hi, very lowly. He's like,
As soon as you say hi at a low place, she said, you know what? I can't do this. They are overworking me today. They're overworking me. Every year, you know what? Every year they bring me onto this faculty, and every year I regret it. They bring me here to register all of you kids, and some of you don't even know how to speak to people. How do you get by in life, but you want to get into an university such as this one? Huh. Is there... And then she looks at Bambi and Drayton. Can either of you talk?
Sorry.
Drayton kind of... he kind of says...
Bambi just kind of says, like, trying to put on a terrible act. Trying not to sniff her and be like, hello.
So while you do this, she said, back up. These students get better every year. You know what? That's fine. And then she, kind of leans back in her chair and sizes all three of you up. She's like, do any of you know what your color, what your group is? Are you all in the same one?
The green bird, purple cow?
The blue snakes. The blue snakes.
The blue snake. Oh, girl. That's a newer one. Okay. And then she kind of opens this book, and outside of it, when she opens it, these words seem to protrude from the page, and they light up and a blue aura around the words. She's looking at them. She's leaned back in her chair. She placed both her hands crossed over her stomach, and she's looking up at the words, squinting even though she has on glasses. And she's like, And then she looks back at you guys, and she sees, when she looks at you guys, she kind of sees Sade from beyond Drayton. And she says,
oh my God.
But in her view, she sees the names of students with their color and their associated animal above their heads. And she closes the book, and then it all dissipates. And she's like, well, this is perfect. All of you guys behind, turn around. And she does this little twirl with her finger, telling you, motioning for all of you to turn around.
Sade turns around there. Yeah, I was about to say.
Not Sade. You were turning around to look at you, and you're turning around away from us.
When you turn around, she says, hey, turn, babe. Are you? I meant them. Turn around. Jesus Christ. You know what? I can't take it here. You guys are all supposed to be together. That's the blue. You snake, all snake. Okay.
Okay.
Oh Jesus! I see they have it. They have it out for me to see. Okay. Come forward. Give me name. And she opens her book again. Just through with all of you guys, she's giving confirmation. She's looking up. It's like Bambi.
Yeah.
Oh, that weird one.
Yeah.
Sade.
Yes, it's me.
The one who hasn't spoken yet. Fire girl. And she's pointing at Xena.
Xena.
Exactly. I knew that. And then she turns back and she's looking at the remaining names. It's just I'm not gonna ask the rest because I don't care. But you are all in the same grade. You will all be together. This is your adventuring party for the entire year. So get comfy. You all share a dorm. What else? And she's like snapping her
We're
fingers.
sharing a dorm?
You say that out loud?
Yeah.
Once you say that out loud, she looks up at you. She's like, it's not any dorm. Looking at you, you haven't had a house. So I don't know why you are confused about a dorm. But it's
Bambi kind of like tilts her head, like, you know, like dogs are like, now what'd you say?
Yeah. And she's like, move to the side, please. And she just motions for all of you guys to move to the side. And then when she does that, she screams out. She's like, Amber! And from a puff of like chaotic looking red magic pops this girl in front of all of you. She's probably around 5'2". SA scores what? High 2. She has long pink flowy hair. It's very like pastel pink, not like hot pink. It's very pastel pink. You could tell that it came straight from like a coloring spell of some sort. Like you can tell that's not her natural hair, but it fits her so well because she has this like fairish, like not too fair, but like fair enough to where the hair doesn't contrast that much from her. So it just looks aesthetically like it fits. And she just has it all down. It looks really wild. She's wearing like a white button-up t-shirt that has a little short type of blazer coat over it. It's black. Her shirt is also tucked into like a black skirt with like a ruffled white mesh number underneath the skirt. And she has on these probably calf-high boots. And she's wearing a very stereotypical witch's hat with like a bow wrapped around it. Like a white bow wrapped around the hat. And as she orients herself from her spell, because she just misty stepped her way over here, and she actually orients herself from her spell, she's sighing and she's breathing, she's catching her breath because it seems that she was doing something very laborious before appearing here. She's like, one second. And she's like breathing, holding up a little finger to all of you. And then once she gets her breath, she stands up straight. She's like, hi, I'm Amber Locke, if anyone, you didn't ask my last name. Hi, what can I do for you? And she's super skittish, but she looks, when she says, what can I do for you? The orcish woman looks at her and is like, they're a freshman? And Amber just looks at her like waiting for more instruction. And she says, that's it. Mm-hmm. Fix it. And she's like, okay, I see. And so she turns back around to you guys. And she's like, so did she tell you why what I'm supposed to be doing here? Like, what was the last thing she told you before calling me?
She told me I'm homeless.
Oh. And she called me the dumb one.
Oh my god.
She hasn't even said my name yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Nor me.
She just gave us our group name.
And that's it.
She said we were supposed to be in a dorm?
Perfect. And then she like snaps and claps at you. And she's like, that's probably why she calls me over here. Hi, I'm, again, Amber Locke. I don't know why I fucking said that again. But I'm the RA. And she puts her hand out for, like, all of you to shake. But she notices that she's not talking to just one person. It's a group. So it'll be awkward for all of you to try to grab her hand at the same time. So she's like...
Sade just grabs it, even though it'll be awkward.
Oh. Does anyone else try to grab?
No. Bambi kind of leans forward and then
sort of bows.
Oh, okay.
Okay, bow.
Oh, you bougie.
So with
Bambi leans forward to sniff, and then she catches herself, realizing that was awkward. The many times she's done it before, she just kind of like she stays back, trying to be like hold herself back.
Okay, and I would say Drayton also probably extends his hand to her. And when she sees that both of you are extending two hands, she quickly extends her other one and crosses it over and takes both of your hands and shakes it. She's like, "Nice to meet you. I'm the RA. I probably should take you to your rooms, just so you can settle in. I know it's probably been a hectic day with all the freshman orientation, yada yada. But if you would just follow me," and she like kind of starts walking down the hall. So if anyone is going to continue to follow her or not, that is up to you. But let me know.
I'm gonna continue to follow her.
Okay, period.
Yeah.
Everyone's
No
following?
problem.
Okay,
And I'm
period.
like struggling to follow her because I take too many big steps.
No, well, the thing about Amber is she walks entirely too fast for her to tell anyone to follow her. Like,
Oh, great! So I'm keeping pace.
yeah, so if anything, someone could probably tell her to
But you
slow
big
down.
ass Goliath.
Right. Someone could probably tell her to slow down because she's going hella fast right now. She's like booking it. So she's
Bambi's just kind of chasing her, enjoying the. She thinks it's a game.
the run.
So you animals. You animal.
So then she stops in her tracks and she's like, "Oh fuck. I should probably get you guys to the mess hall first. Are any of you hungry? Do you want to see like I'm perfectly okay with like showing you guys around before I take you to your dorms because I know this campus is huge and it can be a little like confusing some of the times, you know what I mean? So if it's okay with you guys, I can show you around here if everyone's up for it."
Please lead the way. We need all the help that we can get.
And once you say that, you see her kind of fidget when you say like we need all the help we could get, because she's like, "Ooh, all right." She feels like you placed a chip on her shoulder, and so like as you guys
It's
were
her job. She's the RA.
right, as you guys move to the administration, you guys kind of like follow along this path, and she's giving you like what each of these buildings are, who's in them, blah blah blah. Moving through, she goes over showing you guys like this, walking you on the main path, but telling you like if you look over there, those are student housings and blah 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 blah. And as she continues, she kind of brings you guys all along here, this path, and then you stop here at the cafe. And inside you walk in and there's there's rows of like long tables and floating blue flame like lights like are spread out for lighting inside of this place. It's setting a more like cool toned atmosphere because it's probably around this time, like midday, probably 4 or 5 o'clock ish. So this is around the time that the cafe is kind of a little more chill. Freshmen are probably still out communing with their groups, so like it's a little less in here right now. And you see like these stalls that have nothing at them, absolutely nothing. Like if you walk up to a stall, you will see nada, where you can probably assume, most of you can probably assume there's supposed to be someone here serving food. So then she stops and she turns to you, and this is the cafe. Most of the times you can find me in here, if not in the library. But it's kind of different. It's not like your usual cafe. There's a lot of interesting foods here sold. And you can go up to the stall, just, and then she like shuffles over to the stall, hoping that you all follow her. She's like, you can basically get anything you want here. It's mainly powered by magic, and it's powered through word magic. So you say what you want to eat, and it is conjured up. Reasonable. reasonably. You can't just like say you want to eat this, and that, and then it's gonna conjure it up. Like, it has to be on hand, and the magic has to be pulled from somewhere. And she's like explaining the inner workings of like how food works here. So essentially, all you would have to do is say out loud what you want to eat, and then it will create that. And so after she tells you, she's like, "All right, is anyone hungry?"
Take a bite.
Yes.
Yes, please.
And then she looks around and she's like, and then she snaps her fingers. And when she snaps her fingers, a book flies out of her little satchel and it's flying around her. And she's got her arms up. She's trying to catch this book because essentially this is not going as planned if you look at it from the outside looking in. Like, whatever she expected to happen with that snap is not happening right now. And she's like trying to catch this book, and with the final jump, she grabs like the very edge of it, and she's like, "Whew, sorry about that. My magic's a little wild. It has a mind of its own sometimes, but that doesn't matter." And she opens the book, and she's starting to write down and take orders from each of you. And she's asking like, what would you like? And she's starting with Talia.
Can I get a breakfast croissant and like a smoothie, please?
Oh, okay, period. And she writes that down. And then next she's looking at Sade.
I would just take an elven salad, maybe with the vinaigrette.
Oh, that's definitely doable. And for you? And she looks at Xena.
Avocado toast on sourdough.
My favorite. She writes that down, and then she's looking at Bambi for the next order.
So you just ask for anything and it shows up? There's no hunting?
Hunting? No.
Huh.
Why would there be hunting?
That's just what I'm used to out in the woods.
Oh.
I'll take a raw venison.
Oh. And you can see her skeptically write down raw venison. And then she like looks at you, and she looks and then like just overlooks and goes to Drayton, and he tells her his order, and then she lands on Otis, and she's like, "And for you?"
A couscous salad with truffle souffle.
Oh, fancy. And then she like writes it down, and then she closes her book, and she places it on the on like, I would say, the counter of this particular stall. And with that, you can hear like bubbles just and magic. And then while it's doing that, she's like, "All right, so that process is it cooking up. But let's go and find you guys a table so we can all sit at." And with that, she kind of like walks you guys over to a table. And she's like, "Okay, well," and she's looking around, but you can tell her mind is elsewhere. And she turns back to you, trying to focus, but something in this room is catching her focus, even though she's trying to like stay attuned to you guys in your group and what's happening. She's like, I think the food's done. Can one of you help? And then she looks at Sade. She's like, "Can you help me grab the food?"
Oh, of course. I love to help you.
And when you say that,
go away.
she scampers away a little too fast. Like, it's like, "Bitch, what you running from, ho?" Like, she scampered away. And she's like, "Oop," she's gone. And you're gone with her to essentially grab the food. Now, back at the table, you guys are sitting down, and there's a shadow that is cast over the table. And I would say probably behind Otis. And you hear a small chuckle. You hear a Isn't this delightful? And what are you guys at the table gonna do when you hear that? Like, I would say probably Bambi and Talia and Drayton have a view of this person, but Xena and Otis would have to turn around.
I would have turned around.
I want to do my little
I would
squinty
also
eyes.
Your squinty eyes, and once you do that, this woman regards you very she regards you with a bit of like disgust is the only way you could probably put it. Like, she looks slightly disgusted by how you're looking at her.
Can I discern that she's looking at me disgustingly?
Give me an insight check if you want to.
Let me see. Let me pull this shit out.
The DC for this, because she's not hiding, would probably be, ooh, girl, you didn't get it anyway. It's a nat 1. So from this though,
I'm thinking about the food.
Right.
Thinking about this.
Baby's not thinking about this, bitch. Baby's thinking about this food, girl. She's like, ooh, venison. But like, you can see, like, you can't discern that the look she's regarding you with is disgust, but you can tell it's probably not a good look to receive from someone.
Is your face okay?
She takes a deep breath and exhales and does not respond to you. Instead, she looks at Otis and crosses her arms. And she's like, is this your little group?
Yes, you can call them that.
Now, Otis will probably, on look, recognize this girl. this girl. This is his older sister. But she is very much so, they have different dads. So she's from their mother's first marriage. And she's looking at him, and she's just like, huh. Well, brother, it's nice to see you again. It's been, what, 5 years?
Suppose. Started to lose count after you stopped seeing us.
Well, how could I stay in such a humble home? You know Mother and her dealings. And by that, you can tell she kinda... So the gag with her is once your guys' mother remarried to your father, she stopped coming around because she felt as though your father was not enough, in a sense. She felt that he was beneath her own father, and so continue to living with your mother would, in her eyes, be a downgrade. And so that's why she's just like, well, it is great to see you. I'm glad you're doing well. How about you introduce me to your little friends? Except that one. And she points at Bambi.
Oh.
Wow.
Wait, what?
So when you say, wait, what? She's like, just staring at you, like, as if, did you not hear me? She sees herself as this, like, upper nobility. So to converse with you would be to degrade, in a sense, for her. So she's just like, anyway, introduce me to your little friends. Wait. And then she kind of leans in a little, but then leans back as she notices Xena. And she's like, I know a torrid any day. Hello, it's nice to meet you.
We've met. Let me stop. No.
If you were to say that, she
Yeah,
would say
right on.
half-we. Like,
Roll for initiative.
no, she would say half-we. Because I would say the time in between you and Otis, like having those very like sporadic dates, like play date type of situations, she was long gone.
Okay. So, well, I guess I can't say. Well, I mean, I've said it already, but
Yeah, if you say that, she just replies with half-we. Maybe you know about me. I know how Mother is about pictures in our house. She rarely takes them down, even when they don't belong anymore. And she says
Right.
that with a very, like, underlining disdain in her voice. Like, you can tell there's some trauma there. Like,
Not the cross-eyed pal.
yeah.
yeah, like I'm so sorry your mother hurt you like that. But I only know you because my father has always made it important for me to familiarize myself with nobles.
Of course, likewise. Exactly why I would know a Torrid anywhere. Anyway, if you guys would like to know, since my brother is so dull with introductions, I am Alfrea Luck, and she puts her hand out to anybody willing to take it.
I don't
And you
touch her.
sniffing that bitch.
Bambi sniffs her. Does
Can
Zena
I
do
roll for a
anything?
sniff?
Yeah, go. If you want to roll for a sniff, go ahead and give me an insight. Zena, what do you do?
I'll shake her hand since she's in.
Okay, period. So she's shaking your hand, and as she's shaking your hand, Bambi is kind of sniffing you both interlocked. Like, she's sniffing both of your hands. And
I'm going to drop her hand so
Yeah.
fast.
No, yeah, same. And Alfrea also does the same and like pulls it close to her chest, like she's touched fire of some sort. And she's like, ugh. But from your role, Bambi, you can tell that this girl probably sees any and everyone as little to no one. She sees herself as this podium of nobility, while everyone else is probably below commoners in her mind. So when she looks at you, you can tell it's not with much behind it. It's more like she's looking through you, or in your case, she's wishing she didn't have to look at you at all.
Bambi just kind of lets out the words, "Ah, gross."
Oh, and when you say that, she kind of like is taken back, and she's like,
Zena's gonna
"You say Zena's gonna what?"
giggle because that is funny.
Oh, once she does this, once you do this, she's kind of just like, oh. And then she looks back at Otis, and who has her full undivided attention now. Like, she's disregarding the rest of the table. And she's like, brother, why didn't you tell me you were attending this institute?
Same reason why you probably didn't tell me you were leaving.
I hardly doubt that. I didn't... And she goes to speak. But before she can finish her sentence, the good girls, Sade and Amber, rejoin.
Oh.
And she sees Amber, and her eyes are alight. But not like, oh my God. Like, it's not giving like, oh my gosh, I love you. It's giving like it's giving a light with mockery, in a sense. Like, it's very, she's looking at her with very judgmental eyes right now. But it seems to you guys, if you were to look at her, she'd probably take pleasure in whatever she's about to do with regarding Amber. And so she looks, she's like, Amber! Let's not Because she was about to say, it's so nice to see you, but she cut herself off. She's like, let's not tell fibs. What are you doing here with these freshmen?
Amber, get down.
She's like, what are you doing here with these freshmen? And Amber is completely pale-faced. You can probably, if anybody wants to do an insight check, give me the insight check right now.
Which dice is that?
Just open your thing and click insight, but it's a D20. If you just want to roll.
It's all my rolls being insight checks today.
Yeah. You got a 15. You got a 2.
Period.
Do you not see that?
Yeah, you got a 2. You got a 2.
Hold on.
Tale got a 15.
Hooray!
Yeah, right.
Okay. You got an 11. Okay. Okay. So we're going to start off from the bottom. From the bottom up. From Xena, you could just probably tell something more.
Wait, did Otis roll?
I don't know. Does Otis want to roll?
No,
I was
let
just
me
going
do that.
off of anybody who wanted to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're
Okay, period. So from Xena, you can probably tell there's something going on here, but you're much too unbothered to look into it any more than the words that are being thrown around.
Right.
So you're not really focusing on like the undertones of this conversation, but you can tell something is going on here. Now with the 9 and the 11, you can tell that there is an air of hostility between these two young women. And from you, Margot and Apollo, Talia and Bambi can definitely tell that by looking at both of them, you're able to discern that Amber is scared as fuck. Amber is scared as fuck looking at Alfrea. And Alfrea is enjoying the fear that she sees in Amber's eyes. Now that's what everybody notices. Now, Amber's just like, Alfrea, I'm the RA and I was called to watch over this group of freshmen and they're really hungry, so if you... And she raises her hand, Alfrea raises her hand to Amber, who immediately shuts up. She's like, spare me the details. I just find it kind of funny how this is your, 3rd year here and you're still considered a freshman? That's pretty embarrassing, don't you think? You're looking after all of these kids. And she says the kids, but when she says kids, she looks at Bambi distinctly. And she's like, this.
Oh my god.
And she's like, and you're looking after all of these kids. And I mean, I gotta wonder, why don't you just drop out? Like, that's just plainly how she says this. It's like, why don't you just drop out? And Amber is like twiddling with the ends of her hair, and she's very nervous, trying to avoid or escape Alfrea's gaze, which is very intensely trained on her. And she's stumbling over her words, but before she can really continue on, somebody walks up from behind Alfrea, and they're like, Alfrea, give it a rest. And behind her, you guys see a very tall, he's like 6'3". He's a 6'3", he's black. He doesn't have any like distinctive mystical features. So all of his features, you can assume that he's just a human. His face is very defined, yet there's like a softness in his eyes. He's very big in build. Like, he's 6'3", but like you can tell he's fine.
Because everybody's so tall.
Yeah, like he's fine and slim. He be in the gym. Like that's what you're getting. And his head is like shaved, and he's adorned with like arm guards that are iron and detailed in red. and has this like armor on him with a broadsword on his back. That is, the blade of this sword is black and it has red infernal markings on it. And he also has a notable feature that he's wearing like a red scarf underneath all of this that has like a crest of some sort. But Otis in particular would know that that is the Luck family crest.
He sounds hot, and I feel terrible that I'm about to do this.
So he walks up and he's like, I'm free to give it a rest. And then she turns around and she's like, oh, Hayden, look who I found. And then she like points at Amber. And then she turns to Otis and she's like, you know, before Amber was doing this, she was actually in our group when we first enrolled here. Of course, she failed multiple times, but nonetheless, she was with us. And now she's with you. Isn't it full circle, brother? And she's like saying this with like a smile on her face, but you can tell that smile is wicked, bitch. Like she's
Amber,
she's
get
being
down.
very nasty right now.
Yeah, like damn, Alfredo.
Yeah. And so what does
And-
Otis reply with? Or anybody who wants the floor?
I personally want to
feel that's
cast
enough.
a spell.
You want to cast a spell? Go ahead. What
Wait,
spell
yeah.
would you cast on her? Because there are implications, but I guess we'll find out.
Right. After Otis says, like, you know, that's enough. I'm already getting bored of this. Like, she's getting in the way of my food. So I'm gonna use my druid craft to make it smell like she smells like a skunk.
Now,
I want her scent to match her attitude.
Now, once you do that, you can tell that she scuffs a little bit. Hold on, let me give her a good roll. Okay, period. She scuffs a little bit at you.
Did she say?
She scuffs a little. We're gonna get into it. She scuffs a little bit at you, and she waves her hand haphazardly, like not even trying. And she does dispel magic. And she's like, "Girl, nice try. What is your name? Actually, don't tell me. It's not important enough to commit to memory." And she just.
You're not a nice person, Alfred.
And she stands back and she's looking at you like, okay. Like, she doesn't say anything more to you. She just looks at Hayden behind her and she's like, as I said, look who's with them. And then Amber opens her mouth finally and goes, she's looking at Bambi. Don't. It's gonna make it worse for me. She says, like, very quietly to you,
Aww.
Bambi. And she's like, but before she finishes, you know, like telling you like it's gonna make it worse for me, Hayden clears his throat and he's like, all right, it's enough. Let's go. We have somewhere to be that's not torturing freshmen, I'm sure. And if Otis, I would say Otis, give me an insight check.
Alright.
The DC here is 6. Well, you ate that up with the 17.
All
All
right.
right.
Damn.
So,
Love to see
with
it.
your insight check, you know exactly who this is. This is Hayden. He is a paladin and a fighter who was sworn into the service of your family. And he is particularly her, basically, royal guard. So wherever this bitch goes, Hayden is not too far behind her. He doesn't particularly like his line of duty, but he is very oath bound. He follows it and he makes sure, you know, he makes sure like she's good. He does his job and he does it well. However, you know that he's not very fond of your sister or even your family for that matter. But like, since his family have been sworn to yours for a couple of decades now, he's doing a duty. And he looks at you as you look at him, and he's like, Otis, it's nice to see you again.
You as well, Hayden? I see my sister's still herself.
She as soon as you point your sister, when you say my sister, I see my sister still. She's like, amazing. Is that what you were going to say? Oh, dear brother. And she like leans in and like does this little face scrunchy thing on you. Like she's like squeezing your face together as if she's being an adoring older sibling. That
And I kind of like mumble. I was gonna say egotistical.
Oh, well, never you mind. As you were, Hayden, and then he turns around and he's like waiting for her to walk past him, and she walks away. And before she goes away, she says, she turns a little bit, not fully, just a little, just like a cunt turn, and she's like, I'll see you around. But she says this, and she's looking at Bambi. And then she stalks off. Just saunters off.
Bambi's completely like ignoring her. Like she's trying to get Amber's attention, and she's like mouthing the words, "Do you want me to kill her?"
Oh my god.
Once you do that, Amber kind of like notices what you said. She goes like, her eyes go wide. She's like, no, do not. It's fine.
So I can do it.
No, what she said is, it's not that far from the truth. I did kind of flunk and fell out of our grade, and now I'm the RA, a freshman, even though I'm a freshman. It's just, I don't want to talk about it. And she has your guys' food, and some of you have, and Sade has some of your guys' food, and she just places it on the table. And she's like, here, I brought you your food.
Thank you.
Bambi, doing her best to make her feel better, like puts her hand on her shoulder and is like, I can't read. And then she goes to her food.
And once you say that, she kind of goes, she tilts her head to the side and goes, oh, like, okay. And then she like shakes her head like in agreement. Okay. Like she doesn't really know whether you were being genuine with her in that moment, because obviously she would never have met a person that is of her age range or close to it and not know how to read. So she doesn't know if you're saying that to make her feel better or if you're just like joking, but all the same, she does feel a little lighter. And she's like, yeah, okay, thanks, I guess. And then she hands you all your food. Who's all eating? What's going on?
I feel like Xena would be very not uncomfortable, but she would be like weirded out by that interaction, because who cares if you flunked out?
Yeah.
How furious should not be talking to you like that? So I want to know what happened.
Well, if you're gonna press her for information, give me a persuasion check.
Okay,
Get the tea, friend. Get the tea.
please, let's pray for me.
Let's calm down.
Because it could go so wrong, child. I just pressed the persuasion.
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody, cross your fingers.
Please. Okay. Wait, I pressed it. Did you see it?
Yeah. Okay, you got a 15. The DC was only 10, so what do you say to persuade her into telling you?
Jeez, I feel like I might have to be nice. What? She really shouldn't be speaking to you like that. What's the history between you guys? I don't get it.
Oh. Well, as she said, when I first enrolled here was around 3 years ago, and that was when she first enrolled here. We were in the same group. It was an interesting group, comprised of interesting people, but she was definitely, and there's I mean, and then she like kind of looks up, and she's saying this out loud, but she's saying this to herself as if like this is self-confirmation. She's like, what? There's no real leader of an adventuring party anyway. And then she like rolls her eyes and sighs and focuses back on you. But she definitely would have called herself the leader of our adventuring party. And she made my life a living fucking nightmare. And kind of everybody in my group just went along with it. I mean, all except Hayden. He was really nice to me, but he can really only do so much. And speaking out against Alfrea, well, it's not one of them. So it was just a pretty hard year for me. I also changed majors and studies, which then I had to re-enroll. It's a lot. And now by the older students, I'm kind of seen as a joke, because I'm like the girl that like never moves up a grade. It's so freaking stupid, but it's fine. I'm cool with it. I'm good. Everything's good. And she's like, when she says this part and she screams, you can see like puffs of magic come from her, and it's like a red mist that has like silver reflective sparkles in it, and you can kind of see her food, which she just had a smoothie, kind of explode in the air and explode on her a little bit. She's like, and she's talking to herself, this is why you will never move up. Because she's like really hard on herself about her magic just exploding on her willy-nilly all the fucking time. She does a little wave of her hand and casts prestidigitation, and like thankfully it goes smoothly and she's clean again. She's like, anyway, don't let me bore you with like these stupid details. Enjoy your food, guys. And she's like pointing to all of you to like eat and like try the food if anybody wants to. Blah, blah,
Bambi
blah.
was already eating like throughout the whole story.
Okay.
She was not waiting. Like there's blood running down like her mouth to her chin, and like as she says that, like she looks up and she's like, "I can still kill her if you want me to." Like mouth full of food.
Honestly, I agree with Bambi, and I hate to see that.
I hate to do that.
Shadia's gonna be like, don't worry, Amber.
Up.
Oh, go ahead.
Otis stands up and immediately just kind of bows to her, and then takes out a gold plate and just apologizes through his body language.
So when he does this, Amber definitely recoils, and she's like swinging her hands. She's like, no. Don't let people see you do that. Get up.
Oh my God.
It's an offering.
I thank you, but no thank you. And she's like kindly but very sternly refusing.
Alright.
Now, I know you're new here, but that's just not how things work. You don't ever bow to anyone lower than you. I'm not from nobility, as you can probably see, and I don't have that much money, and I'm just not of the same social status as you, Otis. And you say, and when she says this, like she kind of knows who the fuck you are, so she's like, girl, don't, and she's standing back, and she's like, I truly appreciate the gesture, but don't in the future do that for both of our sakes. And then she just kind of turns away from Otis and looks at Sade, because she noticed Sade was going to say something to her.
You know what, Amber? I'm not royalty either, But we do have value in this. Like Sade just starts going into a speech. We do have value in this world, and you know what? You win the award for best RA, and no one can take that from you.
I know that.
We got you now.
When you say
we
this,
just met you.
right, when you say this, and Talia joins in with the "we just met you," she kind of looks at him like "bitch," but looks at you like "bitch," like. And she's like, "Girl, this isn't a job that anyone wants." Like she lets you know straight up, like she was placed here beyond her want to be here. Like she was basically thrown here because she's like. No one else, like, usually, she would tell you all, like, usually, the RAs are picked, from a group of upperclassmen and, you know, what have you. But since my case is very unique, I have got the courtesy of doing this. And I mean, you've met our receptionist, you can probably tell this isn't the funnest job. No one wants to be the RA. You're kind of just thrown into this responsibility. And because me, I was kind of thrown into it. It's like not something that I want to be a part of. Not that I don't want to talk to you guys. You guys seem like good people. But it's just like the RA stuff. Like I don't want to be an RA. And she like sighs.
Sade just says, "Oh, I'm sorry," and just starts eating. And looks at Bambi. It just says, "Oh, what did you get again?"
For food?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I
at this
can't
point,
really
her plate is empty.
I can't really tell.
I think Sade is just like trying to divert attention.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
And she's like licking her fingers, and she's like, "Raw venison. It's really good this time of year."
Oh,
and
really?
as like she's saying that, she turns over to Otis and asks, "How upset would you be if your sister was to die?"
Oh my
Now,
god.
once you say this, I want you, Bambi, to give me a wisdom saving throw. DC 15.
Oh, wow.
Wait, okay, so I get advantage on wisdom saving throws because if they rely on hearing or smell. Is it a hearing or smell one?
No.
Oh shit.
Fuck. So it's just a regular one.
It's you talking about killing royalty in front of
Right.
Right.
I was asking a question.
Yeah, no, go. You ate that up.
Okay, all right.
So, with your DC 15, you aren't adhered to the full effects of what is going to happen to you. But you do feel a pit in your stomach. And you kind of feel something is not right. And then suddenly it's like a lurch. Like your stomach is being gripped from the inside.
Yeah, this is a lie.
What is going on? I don't feel.
Oh, so you're saying
good.
This? Go ahead. And once you say that, Amber immediately jumps up, and she's alert, but she's like looking at you, and she's like she's also very confused, and she's like, is like, are you in pain? Where does it hurt?
My tummy.
Okay.
That witch.
Okay. Let's just go to the infirmary, and she's motioning for all of you to follow her.
Talia gets up and disregards his sandwich and takes his smoothie, I guess.
Yeah, period. Okay, so everyone's coming. Great.
Take it to go.
Take it to go. Okay, so as you guys are kind of walking, and she has a hold of Bloom, and she's
Bloom?
Sorry,
Bloom.
don't know who Bloom is. Oops. Red card. She kind of has a hold of Bambi, and she's like walking with her, and she's like helping her like stand, because this pain you feel in your stomach is having you kind of lurch forward. And she's like, ooh, girl. So she's like helping you stand, and you guys are moving through like the corridors and things of that nature, and you walk through the courtyard, and you land at the clinic. And you walk in, and Amber goes, hello, we have a situation. I'm not really sure what to call it. She's just in pain. And you hear a woman's voice ring out, I'll be right there. But, bitch, you don't hear no shuffling. You hear not a single sound.
Mm-hmm.
You hear not a single sound coming out from behind. Until, like, you see, like, a door open in this clinic, and a woman with very curly brown hair, and it's in a ponytail, and it's pulled back into like all of her curly brown hair is like in a ponytail and pulls back, and she's wearing like black and dark gray and white robes that are like trimmed in gold, and she appears to be fully human. She's a black woman who has a very kind face, and she definitely is a little more like, she seems like a nurturing presence in a sense. And she comes out and she's like, yes, what's the problem?
I'm dying.
So she looks at you and she's like, okay, dying. And so she puts her hand in the air to you, and she waves it over your face, and you kind of hear like a little, like a spell. You hear this cast over your face. She's like, huh. And then she does another one, because it seems to have eluded her. And she goes, okay, what happened? So she's questioning you now. Even like she was very soft-spoken before, but now she's like kind of on edge. She's like, what happened?
Magic venison, bad. Mean
venison?
witch, mean.
Witch?
And there's kind of patting, what the fuck is your name? Bambi's back,
Oh my god.
like as a comforting
Okay.
way.
And
All right,
she's like,
Eugenia,
this
so-
girl seems to have like, and she's looking at you guys, very limited vocab. She says with a very like soft, but you know, tone. She's just like, she seems to have very limited vocab. Can anyone else tell me what happened here?
She threatened to kill a noble, and her
Oh.
stomach started hurting.
No threat.
My sister,
Promise.
for that matter.
Oh my god. Okay, there is a lot going on. Amber. And Amber snaps to attention. She's like, yes, ma'am. She's like, go. I'm gonna need you to go with. And she's scanning over all of you guys. And she's looking, and she can kind of sense. You can tell that she's getting a feel for all of you. And she lands on Drayton. And she's like, I'm gonna need you and Drayton to go to the greenhouse and go bring back a couple of herbs for me. And she's like, oh, sure. Which ones are? Sure. What do you need? And she's like, it'll be better if I write it down. And so she goes behind her desk. She's writing down a paper, and she's scratching it off and tearing the paper from its bindings, and she hands it over to Amber, who then looks at Drayton. She's like, come on, girl. And then they both exit the room, leaving all of you in there with her.
Oh,
she's like,
great.
now.
Can I?
Yes.
I wanted to ask then. Well, is she considered a nurse?
Yes, she would be considered the school nurse.
She didn't explain what was wrong with her, did she?
No, she did not explain what was wrong with her.
I would like to ask her, can you tell us what happened? Like, what's wrong with her?
Oh, so you're asking her that.
Yeah.
I don't want to put any of you on edge. But it seems she was poisoned. But it's nothing that I can't alleviate with a couple of herbs from our greenhouse.
Wait, how was she
Oh
poisoned?
my god.
Was it the
By who?
Well, it's from what you guys all told me. Whatever she ingested was poisoned.
The venison?
If
Wait,
that's what she ate, sure.
Sade, did you see anything while you were in the kitchen?
No, I just picked up the food and walked out.
Well, it was raw.
Bambi kind of puts her hand on Sade and like fumbles through the words. Bad magic. It's okay.
Okay.
Bad magic. Your bad magic. And Sade's trying to like interpret it. Your bad magic.
No, chaos.
So, the nurse, she butts in and she finally, oh, come on, Bambi, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, sweetie, I'm gonna have you lie down for me. And she guides you to this, like, very stereotypical, like, bed that you would find in a clinic. She's like, I'm gonna have you lie down for me, okay? And she's, like, petting the bed to motion for you to come sit down.
He just flops on it.
Okay.
Sade shouts, "Bambi, be good soon."
Oh
And the
my
thumbs
God.
up.
Once you say this, she turns back to all of you. Hello. That was a hectic introduction, but let me formally introduce myself. My name is Sandra, but you guys can call me Nurse Sandra or Mrs. Sandra. I am the nurse here at this institution. And you said that, so to get this straight, she ate and then she started feeling like this, and you said nothing happened. Like, you got the food and you, hey.
Yeah, it was summoned by magic. Apparently at our mess hall.
Oh, that's what they, that's what they do there.
Yeah, and I just picked it up and I took it out to everyone else.
Okay. This is troubling indeed. I might have to report this to headmistress. How about for now we keep this between ourselves?
What?
Wait, this is weird. Why do we have to keep this to ourselves?
Yeah, this seems mighty important, doesn't it?
You and Sade and Xena, go ahead and give me persuasion.
Ooh.
Check.
Oh my God.
Go ahead and give me
Jesus
go ahead and roll
Christ.
persuasion for
Ooh,
me.
girl, it's not good for me.
Ooh,
The DC
please,
is going to
Believe in
be
you.
12.
Please, Jesus. Okay. Thank you, Lord.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Roll the 17.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Lord.
So on a 17, she goes, well, based on what you told me, this is not, how do I say it? This is not going to look good. This were to get out of hand. And before I make any rash decisions, I want to make sure that this is an isolated event. Do you understand?
I'm not really following.
I want to make sure that this situation is a one-off, maybe like a glitch in our magical system. We all pull from the source, and as she says that, you all in this world would know that all of your powers all come from one source of magic, and everything that is magically powered comes from or pulls from this source, and they call it the source. So she's basically explaining to you guys, like, we all everything is pulled from the source, and I don't want to cause a start if this was intentional or if this was maybe a magical mishap. Because if this is a magical mishap, we will have a lot more things to deal with on our hands than
And
just
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
an isolated incident between maybe, as you guys said, a student and a student getting into a little tat. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna kill her.
I'm gonna need her to stop.
Bambi, be
that.
good. Be good.
she
Don't you dare.
she turns to Bambi, and I'm gonna need you to stop saying that out loud. Thank you.
Bambi lay.
Right.
Can I do an inside check? Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, can I do an inside check to ask? Does that mean that the pool of magic that we're pulling from is potentially contaminated?
Like, are you trying? Okay, so you're gonna.
I'm asking that question, but I wanted to do it through an insight or whichever investigation. I guess investigation.
Yeah, give me an investigation check to see what's going on with this magic.
I'm praying for your friend. Come on, somebody.
Okay. Period.
Yeah.
Once you say that to her, she kind of very solemnly nods to you, and she's like, "Well, if this is something wrong with the source, and maybe the way the food was conjured, and it's conjured using the source, this could mean that there is some contamination in our ley lines here in this institution. But do not worry, we will get to the bottom of this. If this is the work of a..." And she looks at Bambi like, "What did you call her?"
Bitch.
Okay. If this is the work of another student, then that is something that is more manageable for us to handle and deal with than it is, or it would be for us to deal with if this was our ley lines acting up.
So, ma'am, I'm a bit confused. Are you saying that we legally cannot tell anyone about this?
I'm saying, let me run some tests on our friend here. And she places a hand, like a little soft hand, on Bambi's shoulder. And after I do that, we will know the cause of what has transpired with this young woman. So
well,
basically,
legally,
she's telling you guys, don't say anything until she's had the proper chance to really look into Bambi.
Right. Right. And Talia sort of pushes up his glasses, and he's like, well, it's important to address the issue appropriately, actually. And I feel like if Bambi wanted to, she could take legal steps.
And once you say that...
No.
But knowing Bambi, it's probably good that she doesn't have an attorney.
Yeah, because Bambi can't say stomach. Bambi says tummy. Just, by the way, So let's just consider all the intricacies. Love you, Bambi.
You guys are saying that, right? She's looking at you, and she's looking at Talia in with very intrigued, with an intrigued stare. And she's like, And she goes to speak, but she closes her mouth again, trying to basically find the words to say. And she looks at you, but she pins you with a deadpan stare. Let me put it to you this way. I don't want to cause an outright panic if there's no need to do so. If this is a matter of our ley lines going a bit haywire and maybe our magic sources being corrupted, then that is something that we will have to deal with entirely, and we will definitely take that to the proper channels. However, if this is an attack on our good... She places her hand back on Bambi's shoulder. Bambi, that is another matter entirely that we can deal with. Okay? And with that, she turns and she walks to, assumingly, her office in the clinic. And she stands at the door and she's like, now, they should probably be back very soon here. You guys can just sit and wait around for her to get back. And I will be right back. I'm just going to go in my office and check a couple things.
So nobody else thought that was weird?
Yeah, because she's gone. She's out of the room. She's walked out and she's gone.
That was very
Definitely
weird.
Yeah,
But I'm more
absolutely.
concerned with the fact of someone wants to kill my sister.
Well, that someone is Bambi. She's
I mean, she kind of deserves it.
I'm sure everyone wants to kill your
No one
sister.
deserves death.
Well, maybe she doesn't deserve it, but she's a bitch. So
With the pain, Bambi's just kind of trying to mouth the words. Doesn't deserve to live.
all right, we've got to get to the bottom of this, okay? She said
Absolutely.
something about the food, but no one else got sick. It was
And
just
now you hear a magical humming into the air. And it's ringing out beneath, like, seemingly beneath all of you.
Oh my god.
Do you guys hear that?
Yeah, I can almost feel it.
Where's that
Now,
coming from?
if you were to try and tap into this magic, maybe something will happen.
Okay, how do I do
Does
that?
anyone want to try and tap into the magic?
And
I do.
can we all?
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Anyone
Give
can
it
tap
to
in.
me.
It's a very low DC. I'm not even going to
Yeah,
say the DC,
Give
but
it to me.
okay, so
What do we-
go ahead and give me a constitution roll. Just a straight constitution.
Ooh.
Actually,
Just do it.
Look, I'm poisoned, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh,
where's
thank
my
you,
sheet?
Lord.
Oh,
Oh my god.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay.
That's the only
Okay. Give me Talia, give me a roll too. Okay, period.
Oh, you did better than most of us.
So, with everyone focusing in on the humming of this magic, I think for Sade and Otis and Bambi, you feel it and your mind is trying to grasp it, but it's eluding you ever so slightly. Like, you just need a bit more to hone in on this and kind of grasp it fully. While Talia is very in tune with what's going on, being a wizard, he's probably very familiar with tuning into magic. So he's able to zone in on this. And with Xena, because she caught it so ferociously, she caught it so ferociously, you can see her eyes start to glow, and there is a light red, kind of blood red glow emitting from her hands. And Xena, you know that you could pull them in on this magic if you all were to touch.
Oh, man.
So that's on you. What do you want to do? You can if you choose to pull them in on it, you'll all experience this. But if not, then you and Talia will experience this.
I'll pull them in.
Okay. So
where's the consent? Like, where's the consent?
how do you choose to pull them in? Like, what are you telling them?
If you want to feel this, give me your hand. If you don't, by all means, please
Okay,
don't
period.
touch me.
Bambi's hand is like shaking from like the poison, but she reaches out.
Okay.
She's a little skeptical of you, Bambi. I'm not gonna lie.
Just a paw coming over the top.
Okay.
Sade's gonna put her hand in.
And so you grab.
Otis puts his hand in.
You grab. Everyone's grabbing. Capiche. All right. And so you hear the hum of the magic, and you're thrown out of your own senses into what you can only describe as the perspective of another person. And you're looking down as you see food being conjured up in front of you, and you're looking to see if anyone is like watching you, basically. And you place a hand that's gloved over the food, appearing to look like venison. And a light purple glow emits from your gloved hand as you pull it back and the plate disappears. And all of you guys are snapped back into your own senses. Like, it feels like a rush whirlwind, and you're pulled back into your own body. And once
I'm
you
sorry,
do
can
that,
you describe that purple thing one more time? Because my brain didn't visualize it. I'm so sorry.
so it was just a purple light emitting from the hand as it hovered
Oh,
over
okay.
the food. Yeah. So
Okay,
assumingly someone was doing magic.
Right, okay. I got you.
So once you do that, you're pulled back into your own body. Everyone's like, it's like very jarring. And for those of you standing, you're probably a little wobbly. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution.
Josh.
Lord Jesus.
DC
Be with
10.
us.
You meet to beat it. You just ate that up. 17.
Oh Lord.
10. All right.
Period.
Well, you don't need to do it, Bambi. you lay
I
it
was
down,
gonna
boo.
Not with a 20.
Right, that's a 20.
Yeah, so Bambi probably orients herself the fastest. And she's back into her regular senses.
I knew it.
And Talia, you are stumbling. You are like about to giving Fergie tripping, fumbling, stumbling because you're falling in love. Like that's what you're giving right now. And the rest of you kind of like stumble a bit, but you're able to catch yourself and poise yourself. While Talia seems to be the leaning tower of fucking Pisa. And
I'm lengthy.
right,
I'm bumping into stuff.
exactly. And you're bumping into things. And once you bump into something, you hear the door open again. Like you hear like, you know, a quick little. And she comes back out here. And Sandra's like, is everything okay in here? I felt something. She's talking to all of you.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Talia whispers towards Bambi, "You might actually need an attorney."
Bambi just points a thumbs up to the nurse, like while it's like shaking.
Nash. Once you said everything's fine, I'm gonna need you to roll me a deception against her investigation.
Pray for me, y'all. Wait, you said investigation or deception, right?
You roll deception, and she's gonna roll investigation.
Okay. You got this. You got this, friend.
Ooh,
you roll
maybe you don't got
so
this.
she needs to beat a 7.
Come on, come on.
Let
No
her roll a
whammies, no
one.
whammies.
She rolled an 18.
Oh
She
my
rolled an 18.
Fuck
So
that bitch.
she looks at you, and she's kind of frowning. She's like, young lady, I am sure that you have a very good reason for lying to me, yes?
Can I roll a persuasion?
If you are trying to persuade her, what are you trying to persuade her to do? Because already
get off
she's
my
you're
case.
caught in your lie, so she knows you're lying.
Okay, but I don't want her to know. I guess I can't get myself out of this situation.
Lie about something else.
No,
Yeah,
but-
like I need her off my case, girl.
Okay, so what do you want to do? This is up to you.
Jesus.
You got this. Be clever. Be clever.
I don't know how else to deflect it.
Just tell us not her business.
I mean, you could say anything you want. She will just
Literally
have to
anything.
respond.
Can I just say something weird happened to Bambi?
Yeah,
Like,
you can say that. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
like let's just put it on Bambi.
Okay, well, go ahead and say it. So go ahead and give me what you said. Go ahead and give me what you said, sir.
Bambi just got sick again. I don't know what to tell you. Nothing happened.
Ooh, tummy.
She's kind of like. Now, Bambi, I'm gonna need you to roll me a performance check.
I was doing it as a help action.
I'm gonna need you to roll me a performance check, babes.
Okay.
Please perform.
I have a
This better be your
negative
Renaissance era. This better be your Renaissance iron.
Oh my God! No.
Oh my God!
Hey,
You know what? Let's leave. Let's run.
Once you say that, she's like, guys, I don't know what's going on here, but because it's obvious that young woman is faking. You can trust me. I felt, I don't know how to explain it. I felt magic, but in a very raw form. Because usually magic, when people use them, they have magical signatures. But this felt like the very source of magic itself. Like it was alive in the room. Did anything happen? And she's not looking at Xena no more because she already don't. She's like, that bitch lied to me. So she's looking at the other girls. And she's like, did anything happen?
All right, y'all. Y'all better be in solidarity with me.
I would like to do a deception check.
Go ahead. I'm gonna roll. Hold on.
Okay.
Come on, friend.
My performance already got me. I get a negative one. So.
Just go ahead and roll. I'll tell you what she got.
Ooh, no whammies.
Yay!
You beat her by a landslide because she rolled a 1. So.
Oh my God.
You let me know what you're gonna say to her.
Take it home, Sade.
So first, I'm going to say this is all just a lot for us. We're getting so much information at once. We're all very concerned about Bambi. We're concerned about what she told us. It's just a lot of information. I think that we just need Bambi to get her herbs, and we need to settle in. This is day one. We're all exhausted. Right. Bambi keeps saying tummy. It's just a lot. I just think that we need a break.
We got robbed.
You need.
Yeah, we did.
You said you need a break. Okay.
Yeah, we just need to get Bambi home to the dorms, and we can discuss this another time.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I can't let you guys go just yet until the herbs get back here, but I mean, if you
can we just sit down and rest? Like,
yeah,
it's just too much.
I understand perfectly. And she's kind of looking at all of you with like a look of expectancy. And she's like, seeing if anyone's gonna come forward with the truth again. But if no one says anything, she's just gonna sigh and put her hands up. Well, I will retreat back to my office. And
look, she ain't to be trusted.
Right.
I
don't know you.
So she's just like, I will retreat back to my office and
oh my God.
What is that?
What's that?
You hear the screaming, a very visceral scream.
And she think I want to tell her
sounds
anything.
out. But it does not. It's not coming from inside the room. It's coming from outside. And she's immediately on high alert. She's like, what's going on? And she runs to the door. And, you know, she opens the door. And she's met exactly with Amber, who's looking very, very scared.
Oh shit.
And Miss Nurse Sandra is like, Amber, what is happening? What was that noise? And Amber is catching her breath and she's looking hysteric. And she's like, he's gone.
Oh,
And she's
they
like,
took
what do you mean? What do you mean he's gone? Who's gone? Speak, child. So she's like tapping her like, girl, talk. She's like, he just disappeared. The boy, Drayton, he's gone.
Oh my god.
What do you mean?
And that is where we will end our session for today.
Oh my god. Well, rest in peace, girl. Rest in peace. We really got through that nurse.
Talia, you see? You gotta watch your friend,
No.
bro.
Right. Yeah, your man is gone.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that is where
This is so
we will
evil.
end this session for today.
Good session, everybody. Though. Good session,
Does anyone have anything to say before we sign off?
I can't believe you left us on a cliffhanger like that.
Right.
Okay, not this.
It's worse than a new Hulu show. I'm confused.
Okay, well, thank you guys all for watching. And if for any of the girls who will be watching on YouTube when this comes out, hello to the YouTube land. Thank you guys so much for joining us for the first episode of Hecate Institute, the Freshman Chronicles. Period.
Welcome in YouTube. This is Mara the Witch, your high priestess of bitch.
Here we go.
Here
My
we go.
pronouns are she, her, and hers.
There we go.
And this is Apollo here signing off.
Right. Right.
Catch us next time, next
I need a
week.
performance check
Not
before you
next
finish.
week.
I need a performance check from this.
I need a
performance check from
performance.
this now.
Listen, that
Yeah.
negative one killed us.